And yes, welcome back once again to another edition of the Oh No Wrestling podcast. I don't know why I'm talking like Christopher Walken right now. I'm walking into the podcast. You know what I mean?
Anyway, into the podcast.
Anyway, my name is Owen, and I am your short break kid. Along with me is my good friend, the modern day Maharaja, and some would call him the Clint Bobsky of our generation. The one and only Matthew Stafford is with me as well. Is my hair looking good? I feel like I got a good swoop tonight. It's because of the hat hair. Like, I got a good...
You do have a good swoop
Like,
tonight.
I was worried about it before. I'm like, I'll keep the swoop. I'm going to keep this.
No, keep the swoop. You've got the good swoop.
I got a haircut tomorrow, Matthew.
Oh, shit.
I got a haircut coming tomorrow, but I'm going to tell her, don't get rid of my swoop. No, don't.
Dude, I got a haircut this week, too, so I'm going to say, look, I got a swoop, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do. You're, yeah. I got no product in mind. Oh, that is a good, see,
I've
that.
got no product.
Yeah.
I've got no product in mind either, man.
No product boys. Yeah,
product boys.
And you're almost a tracky boy.
All natural.
You're almost a tracky boy.
I'm almost a tracky boy, dude. I got sweatpants on. It's a sweatsuit. It's not a track suit.
Oh, so what's
I
see? Okay, I'm a tracky boy. I got my tracky on. Like, I feel like if you zip that up, you'd be tracky. Like, I feel like
it does, and it's got the white zipper on that.
I'm just saying. I don't know if that's sweatsuit or tracksuit, but it's damn close to both.
I am rocking the Oh No Wrestling t-shirt.
Yours
too,
looks
from
so
years
much.
Ago.
Yeah, it looks great still. Mine is falling apart. It's gone gray. It's like all the red has kind of peeled out. I just wore it so much, and
do you throw it in the dryer though?
Oh, I'm
aggressive.
Oh no, we live in Florida. We can't air dry. We can't air dry.
I air dry. You get to air dry, and then you just toss it in to get the wrinkles. And stuff
okay,
out.
it's too much laundry to do for that. Like, we go through too many t-shirts in Florida. It's not Florida. It's tumble dry or nothing, man. Like, you can't be can't be air drying in this humidity. It just never dries. Then it gets all smelly and moldy smelling.
Yeah, you don't want that. That's true. Okay, yeah, good point. Point taken.
The wrestlers will understand what I mean, and I'm sure there's a ton of wrestlers that listen to this podcast, but we've all heard from several people. I want to know who you think the smelliest wrestler ever of all time is. Of all time, smelliest wrestler in the ring. They were probably worse too back in like the territory days, right? They were probably not washing their garments as much, not washing their gear.
I will say that his wife had said it at one point before he passed, when he was still Luke Harper, but Brody. She mentioned his gear was pretty gnarly, and he only ever had like one or two of those white tanks or like white beater shirts.
He just kept wearing the same wife beater?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. Would he not wash it? Ooh, or he just wear it multiple days maybe?
I think it just got multiple days on the road, just toss it back in the bag, let it sit in there. Like, he was always trying to get back home too.
True.
So,
no, why is he gonna waste his time with that? Bray is also another one that I know even Duncan, who's not here with us tonight, unfortunately, but hopefully we get him soon. Our predictions champion should be on the show on occasion. But yeah, he said that even at a live show, like it was a house show, I remember him saying that he was front row at a house show and got real close to Bray Wyatt, and like the stank that came off of Bray Wyatt was real. And I imagine too, kind of like helps with the gimmick a little bit, right? You don't want those guys smelling like lavender. Your swamp guys, like it's off-putting, but you don't want them smelling all pretty, like no scent.
I got some swamp ass going on.
Yeah. I mean, I smelled Tay Conti, and she smelled pretty good coming out of the ring. Just gonna say.
I can imagine.
Just gonna say.
When did you smell Tay Conti?
AEW Dark taping. The first time we were at AEW Dark, and I got real close, she gave me a high five, and yeah, smell pretty good.
I could imagine. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what wrestlers. I mean, I've met quite a few wrestlers, and the ones that I don't know if I ever picked up on any scent that I would say like good or bad. So, I mean, some of the wrestlers just smelled like fucking athletic men. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
there's just like an athletic man smell. I'm like, I don't know. When you work out that much, I guess you just like smell like a little
It's
different.
testosterone.
Is that what it
You're
is?
smelling the pure testosterone pour through
Yeah,
their body.
pheromones are just fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
they're killing you. But I imagine
Um,
I always think that Bam Bam Bigelow really smelled bad because like he was a bigger dude, kind of probably hairy underneath there, and like with that bodysuit. Like I just imagine Bam Bam must have smelled bad.
yeah,
Vader looks like
yeah,
he
especially
smells.
who?
Vader looks like he
Oh
smells.
yeah, Vader definitely looks like he
I
smells.
think people
I
have
will
even
say,
talked
I
about that. Like
really, I
I
will
think
say,
Vader actually did smell a lot. I think Shawn Michaels even called him like a smelly fuck or something, smelly fat fuck one time.
really.
Like I got hurt his feelings. Like it's like
I would.
I think there's stories about that one.
What about Rikishi?
Okay, so I think he probably smells nice. I think Rikishi
Okay,
is a good smelling wrestler. This should
okay,
be a new game that we do at the end of the show. Good smelling wrestler, bad smelling wrestler, and we analyze if we think they would be good or bad smelling.
yeah,
Okay, we'll do a quick
okay.
round. We'll do a quick round. Kevin
Let's do
Nash.
it. All
Kevin
right.
Nash.
Good, good smelling.
Okay. Other than the fact that, and I just saw this like thing was going around. This clip was going around this past week. He comes out with the Wolf Pack with Scott, and I think Hogan's there. But it's just him and Scott. And he comes out and he looks into the camera. It's probably when he was booking the goddamn WCW, when he was booking that show. And he looks in the camera and the camera mic picks up. I haven't washed my hair in 2 weeks, like is what he
Oh
says.
shit. Okay.
So I would
Well,
lean
I'm just
towards maybe Smelly, but he is big
I
sexy.
picture he uses
So
a scent. Like he probably covers up some of
uh
the smell because he's a bigger guy. You would expect that, but I'm picturing like when he's done. Maybe he didn't wash the hair, but he at least showered and put some cologne
and
on.
his hair did look okay, to be honest with you. I'm gonna go not Smelly. Yeah, I mean I think you're right. I'm gonna go
Right?
with you. Yeah.
All right.
Throw me one.
All
Throw me
right.
one. Throw me one.
All right. Brooklyn Brawler.
Brooklyn Brawler. Now that's deceiving because you want to think to embody the gimmick, he would be Smelly.
Yeah.
But he's also like, I know some of those New York gentlemen, and I'll tell you, they're into hygiene. Like they're
Yeah.
kind of into it. And I'm not saying that this guy was like a modern day for his time a metrosexual, but I do think it would be funny if the Brooklyn Brawler actually smells nice. And I think he probably does. I'm going to go with Brooklyn Brawler. Smells nice.
Fucking love it. I was thinking the same thing. You
Yeah,
probably want to because he leans into the gimmick so hard, but
exactly.
nope.
Nope.
I think he's gonna smell good.
I think he is too. It'll be some form of hyper, like he will have his own cologne that he only wears. And it'll probably be kind of a cheap cologne, but it'll still smell nice. It'll still smell
Yeah,
nice.
it'll smell nice. Yeah, you got another one for me?
Okay, yeah, we'll do one more each. How about this one? Bastion Booger.
Christian Booger.
Yeah, you
Can I
remember
look
him?
up a picture? No.
You don't remember Bastion Booger? Okay, so he was he was New Generation WWF. He
Oh
had the
God, yeah.
silver, he
Now I
was a
do.
big fat man with a silver, his titties are hanging out all over the place.
It
He's,
was like a. It's like suspenders, but they're
yeah,
crossed over
yeah.
around his tits, and then sometimes he has a straight one going across.
It's a very
Also,
interesting styled singlet with cross. His whole gimmick, Matthew, was that he was a slob and ate too much, and he always like would have. There's pictures of him like with burgers, just like falling all over his face and munching, and like big pieces of pizza that he's stuffing.
This dude
This
smells.
dude smells. Yeah, I
This
was
dude
gonna. Yeah,
smells.
this dude smells.
I'm looking at the picture of him eating pizza and lifting weights at the same time, and I guess there's another one. He's dressed as Friar Tuck.
Oh, well, see, no, that
Oh,
was a different gimmick. That was a different gimmick. That was when he was, shit, what was, oh, what was that gimmick? What was that gimmick? Shit. He had a few of them. Was he, ah, man, was he the same guy? I don't know if he was the same guy that did Mantar as well. Was he Mantar?
no, I'm just getting Friar Ferguson and
Friar Ferguson.
Bastion
Yeah,
Booger.
okay. So, yeah, he was those two. Who was the dude that played, who was Mantar?
Oh,
He,
that was hold on. That actually just it popped up as hold on, let me just go
yeah.
back when you type it
I
in.
mean,
It's like
since we're
related or
there anyway.
people it's people also search for. So
Yeah.
um all right. So yeah, Mike Halleck. So he
I don't think
this
he did it. Did he
Wikipedia.
do anything else? Just like it doesn't matter if he didn't do anything else, but
I don't think he did anything else.
I saw
Yeah.
a few tweets of people posting stuff about him today, and it was just like it was a match with him and a bunch of big guys, like a compilation. And it's like one of those things. It's like, oh, this guy, like he wasn't great, but he might have been like actually pretty good for a big guy. Like, is this guy better than
Yeah.
history remembers him type thing? You
Oh,
know?
okay.
Like,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna deep dive and watch a few Mantar matches this
Please.
soon
Yeah.
and report back to see if he was actually any good, in my opinion.
All right.
Let's switch to modern. Oh no. Before we do that, you had one more, right?
Oh, I got one more.
You got
Yeah,
one
I got one
more.
more. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Andre.
Andre stinks. Andre stinks.
He stinks.
I think
mean,
he
because
stinks.
only because I also think like now. I mean, he's just a very larger guy. Things didn't fit. They were probably tight, loose. He was probably always hot, but I don't know. But
Cramped into
also, as
small
much
spaces.
as much at like such a point, I would think that he would want to like get really fresh and clean in a shower. There was no shower that he could fit into.
Mm-hmm.
So like he
Yep.
could never really get that
He used to
satisfaction.
have to
And I
shit
kind
in
of
a
feel bad for
bathtub
him.
sometimes because the toilets weren't big enough for him. That's a true
Yeah.
story. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
You can look it up. That's a real thing from somebody's book, I'm sure. But yeah, we'll switch our wrestling gears into this day and age here now, and we'll go with some great wrestling. Maybe like Mantar, maybe as good as
Yeah.
Mantar, maybe better. No, seriously, what are your thoughts on this week's Dynamite? I was very impressed. I thought it was one of the
Fucking
better
solid.
shows, one of the better shows that I've seen in a while, minus 2 segments. Yeah, minus I think at least 1 segment, but
Okay, so matches or segments?
I would say I probably would be leaving a segment out that didn't, I'd be forgetting if whatever. And I do get like all these shows mixed up because I watched Rampage for once this week too. But ultimately, let's focus on the good, right? Let's focus on the show opening with Mox Hangman, right? I'm
Fucking banger, dude. That thing
great.
was dude. There's this one at the very beginning of that match, and it just played out the rest of the match through. So Hangman got in, they started going at it. He put Mox in the corner, and he was doing some of those forearm punches.
Yep.
And dude, the first one, he rocked Mox hard. I rewound it back like 3 times, watched it. He knocked him hard, and I don't know if maybe Mox told him to or to like lean into it, give it to me, because the rest of that match, there were quite a few times that Hangman gave it to him stiff.
Absolutely. I think I would like to think that because of the angle that they are doing, that Moxley would have said to him, this has to look legit. There needs to be like every punch needs to feel real. And I would like to think that this is a Mox, like you just said, told him to lay into it. I was scared after a couple of those hits because I was scared for Hangman because in a real fight, Mox, I think, takes his
He's gonna knock
goddamn
him out.
head
Yeah.
off. And if Mox, say that conversation didn't happen and there's a rematch, well, Hangman needs to be worried about a legit concussion again from Moxley. Like, that's
Yeah.
just be real. So I was worried, like, oh shit, but it added so much to the match that I think that was part of the drama. I think that had to have been what you just said. I think that had to have been the case.
So, and I will say this, and I did have this written in my phone for the show because I was saying it for a while when Hangman, if you'll remember, when he was in the little bit of a chase to get the title and then getting his title and in that reign.
Yep.
Remember, I think he's a great wrestler and I like the gimmick, but I kept saying there was something missing. There was like this attitude, this gruffness. That match had it, and that was like the edge that I needed to see from Hangman. It's not the edge that I need to see all the time from Hangman moving forward, but knowing that he has
You
that
need
edge
to
and that
know.
fire in him now I know, like now I'm even more bought in, right? Now that was the thing that was missing for him, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
Absolutely. I think it was a great showing for Hangman. It was the right call. And again, when we talk about the angle, like with the match, like really, because it is kind of an angle and a match at the same time. What they did there was genius. They've also, have they finally given John Moxley a vacation on a concussion angle? Like,
Yeah, that's
that's
what I'm hoping.
that's what it seems like. Someone on another podcast, can't remember who, but credit to whoever they were, not my idea, just throwing it out there. But they made a great point in that Hangman was out for quite a little bit there. What was it, 9 weeks? It was 6, 9 weeks, something in that
It was a
realm.
while.
It was a while. With a legitimate concussion. So, if with this angle and with the finish, it seems like Hangman concussed Moxley, right? Like that was the story of the match. That was what happened. That hey, tit for tat. Now I'll give
So
you
he could
one.
be gone for,
so you would have to, if you want to play it right, you got to give Moxley however the amount of time Hangman had off, as in the same way.
Exactly.
And I think that they should do that. If he pops up on TV next week, it's wrong. Like that would ruin it for me. He needs to be gone for a while. And I love John Moxley, but we need him gone for a little bit to rediscover again and make this feud even hotter. While he's gone, don't put Adam Page in another program. Leave this alone until Revolution. Yep. And when Revolution seems like it's right that the next time it would probably take place, do it at Revolution. Is that the next pay-per-view, or am I mixing things up?
No, I think it's Revolution. It's in March 23rd.
That sounds right. Yeah. So it would be that. I think I'm even going to be in town for it this year, but it's not in my town. Fuck.
Yeah, it's not. So Sunday, March 5th of 23. I was thinking of the year.
I only say
so March 5th. It's in San Francisco at the Chase Center.
I can't afford to go to San Francisco for a weekend.
I don't know if you want to go to San Francisco, man.
Nah,
not right now, man. That place got fucking. It was already a little dirty. It was. I mean, Bay Area is an alright place, but it was already a little dirty when I lived out there. I had to go back towards the tail end of the pandemic, and
not so hot. But either way, very, like you said, I think it was a great showing for Hangman. Really, really added the fire to it. I was already into this program. I'm way more invested into it now, and it's nice because they've both been world champions. They're upper card, right? They're still keeping them at that level, and they don't have to be in the MJF scenario or title picture. It's they can have, and that's what's perfect for those two guys at the moment. Now, here's what I'm curious about. Hangman clearly the face in this last match, and pretty much been the face in the feud. But Mox is so beloved. Is it even possible to keep Mox the heel the whole time in this feud? Or do we have to have some maybe more nefarious behavior by Hangman to convince, like, to throw some elements of doubt as to who the heel and who the face is? Or do you just keep it simple that Mox turns full heel and
I think you do it and you keep it simple, and whatever happens with Hangman at Revolution around that time period, Moxley shows back up and fucking and cheap shots him or something like that to cause something and get that heel heat.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be. See, that's interesting because Mox does have to do something pretty drastic at this point to turn the audience against him. Like he's. I would say, like, he is AEW's most beloved figure at this point.
Yeah, but if you do what you just said, which I think is a great idea, which is to have him go away, keep it simple, use this time to fucking build Hangman and get the crowd even more behind him. So like they build up to something at, let's say, Revolution, right? And he has this match or something and it's for something, but Mox comes in. Even if Hangman wins, he could do it at the end, but it would make more sense if he had cost him that and showed up and cheap shot him. You know, that sort of thing. That would get that heel heat. That would really get that heel heat because you haven't seen Mox. You've had all these weeks to get everyone back on the Hangman wagon. And I almost said train, but I said wagon.
I like wagon. Get him on the wagon.
The Hangman wagon. Get him on the wagon.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think that makes sense. But I mean, it kind of goes with what you were saying. So I think it's doable.
One of my other big takeaways from this show, match wise, was the Danielson. Man, Takeshita is my new boy, and the Danielson Takeshita match, and even the MJF promo before it was great. You know, with "Don't take a shita" and all those lines, and
yeah.
Like MJF on form again, kind of doing.
I did see things online with people saying that they thought it was insensitive and such, like, you know, kind of some of the stuff was racist and
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was either, but also apparently he cleared it with Takeshita before that.
Of course he did. MJF does this with everyone.
Yeah.
Like MJF is apparently probably a pretty good guy behind it. Just don't let him hear that.
Probably.
But yeah, he's probably at least, you know, knowledgeable enough to be like, okay, do you think that there's 100% a reason he chose the phrasing and the word choice of "we speak American here"?
Yeah.
All right. He didn't say "we speak English here." He said "we speak American here." That does a couple different things. It shows that MJF is an ignorant asshole, right? It also pisses off two huge purveyors of professional wrestling. That in the Japanese and also the motherfucking English. Because when you say "I speak American," it pisses English people off. So it ticks all the boxes. MJF was playing his role. Yes, there's obviously wordplay with his last name in Takeshita. Look at the word. Like, it's a joke in and of itself. Like, it's a softball for MJF, right? So that whole thing, I don't know. MJF was not culturally insensitive. He was playing exactly what he needed to do. I thought that, you know, how do you say it? Konosuke. All right. Konosuke Takeshita. I can only do it when I do a Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
could be all wrong, but I think that's what it is.
yeah, Konosuke really handled it very, very, very well. He's adapting very, very quickly, not only to like, I mean, yeah, he doesn't speak English yet, like very fluently, but he's handling like the acting parts of
I
it,
love
right?
I love that he did the Japanese and then he just
Yeah,
fucking had the phrase in English. Like that was
exactly.
fucking great.
And it
That's
was a
all you
simple
needed.
and it was a simple phrase, and you can kiss my ass or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's it. Yeah. That's all
whatever.
but that's all he
That's all
needed to
you
do.
need. It's all you needed to do. Because the match with Danielson afterwards, just like any match I've seen of Takeshita's, has been like eye opening. Like he's deceivingly big. Like that's a weird thing to say, right? Like you don't
Yeah.
like he is bigger than like you
Dude,
really
did you
think
see
he is.
when he did that that jumping line? What do they call the
Oh yeah, yeah.
the
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 basically jumping lariat that they go into
it's
that
a
one.
jumping Larry, but it's like yeah, it's something line.
I
Maybe
don't
it's
know.
maybe it's the Takashita line. Maybe that's what it was called.
I never caught
But
any of that.
but
No.
dude, oh dude, dude, he's at the ropes basically. He like ran the
I
ropes,
never
and then
caught
when
what
he
they
did the
called it is what
launch.
I'm saying.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, they did call it then because I watched it back a couple of times just because of the length that he got
Oh,
when he
dude,
jumped.
it's the way he
He was
leaps.
he
Yeah.
was so far back, and he made it all the way
He
halfway
like
across the ring.
Superman's for like half like half the
Yeah,
ring into like
half
a
the ring.
clothesline.
It was
It's
super cool.
yeah,
I rewound it a couple of times. It was really cool.
he's got some really cool stuff in his arsenal, and we know for a fact that AEW has high hopes for him. He's 28, I want to say, like
Yeah,
27,
28.
28.
They said that.
Yeah, yeah. So he's still relatively young. I think like he's obviously tough. He obviously like wants to kind of be in America. He's moved over here.
Yeah.
AEW, I think, have high hopes for this guy. I think he might be your first Japanese world title holder in AEW.
In
Or,
AEW.
well, no,
Yeah.
you can't say that because of Sheeta, but men's champion, I suppose.
Man. Yeah.
But I just see that happening. I feel like he's got something about him that is a very pure baby face that they can cultivate. That it's, I think he's gonna get so much fan support over time that he's gonna be a top baby face in that company, and that's great. Like
Yeah.
that's 100% what they
And they
should
need
be
that
doing.
too. Yeah.
It, I love all these developments now with Don Callis. You know, like this
Oh
stuff
yeah.
where he's trying to coerce him to join him, and he's like, I forgot what the number was, but he's like, you competed in, 6 matches in 7 days, like with this Bola tournament. It was like backstage at the Battle of Los Angeles. Like he's confronting him and telling him, like, see, Kenny used to do stuff like that. This is when I got involved and said, Kenny, come on. You need to, you don't need to be doing all this.
Yeah.
If you concentrated on the big prize, you'd win the big matches. And that's why you lost to Bryan Danielson. So all of this, and he hands him a business card, all that type of stuff. So that's interesting. And the developments that can come out of that. So it feels like Kenny's almost taken him under his wing as part of like something. And I think that we might get that as, is this gonna form some rift with the elite, perhaps? Is this something leading towards a golden lovers thing, even perhaps? Like one can dream, right? Like there's a lot of elements that I feel like are at play here. But there's a reason that Don Callis and Takeshita are involved. And I don't know. I just feel like that's the story that they've just started. That's one of these Young Bucks elite Kenny Omega, Don Callis, long-term stories. There's something like that's like that's gonna be the undercurrent that's gonna float for a while.
Yep.
And you also, if AEW didn't think anything of him, you wouldn't put him in a match with Danielson, and you wouldn't have the show of respect with Danielson after the match.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, I that and you know the whole like thing with him loving Cinnabons.
No.
Oh yeah, so okay, so Takeshita when he first came over to America got introduced to Cinnabon, and he's in love with them, and he tries to get one every single day. He's all about
What?
Yeah, he's all about Cinnabon. Like he loves Cinnabons. Takeshita. So he today like I love following Takeshita on Twitter, and he has just moved to America. I think he's in Florida if I'm quite honest, but he's just moved to America. And so you're getting to see this guy like very innocently, like because he doesn't speak great English, but tweet about like I, how he had his first Christmas tree, and he had like he's like basically he's in an apartment where he's slowly like buying things for the apartment and trying to figure things out, and it's great. Today he posted that he tried to buy a toaster oven to make Cinnabons so he could make his own Cinnabons at home, but instead he got an accessory for the toaster oven, which was like a cutting board that goes on top of the toaster oven. Like and he
This
said
is on his Twitter?
yeah, it's on his Twitter, and he's like, oh, I thought it was too cheap. At least now the kitchen smells like new bamboo, because it was a bamboo cutting board. Tried to buy this tried to buy this toaster oven to make my Cinnabons. Bought the thing instead. He thought, I thought it was. And then someone tweets him. I forget. It's another wrestler, an AEW wrestler, and they're like, yeah, we have a phrase over here: the devil's in the details. And then he's like, oh, new phrase. We'll be using that one a lot. Like, stuff like that. Yeah, he's a great follow. You should follow Takeshita. He's hilarious.
I will.
He's posting his new experiences in America as he's just got here and trying to get assimilated into life. And then there's these other wrestlers that are like trying to help him out. Like, oh, you need to go here. Like, it's like,
all right, I'm totally gonna check this out.
yeah, it's good. It's good fun.
I will say that I did find a Wrestle Shorts one. Um uh so it's is it Takeshita is what they call it. It's a modern romance, and it's him and Cinnabon, a love story.
Yeah.
It's a 2 minute and 40-second, and it's just compiled all the interactions
Of
between
him
him
and
and Cinnabon. It's just
Cinnabon.
is moving. It's like a slideshow on the screen. Like,
He
thank you, my
loves it.
baby. I'll do my best. But yeah,
he loves
it's really funny.
Yeah, he's the man. Yeah,
He
follow his
really
Twitter.
does seem to love it.
It's like
Yeah,
it's like take soup or something. It's something like that. You find him.
Yeah, Taka Soup.
Take soup. Yeah, follow him. He's
Yeah.
great. He's one of my new favorites. And dude, that like deadlift he did on Brian. I forgot what move they were in, but I mean, what a technical wrestling display, talking about actual wrestling here. But like at some point there was this like counter that he did to Danielson that basically like he had to deadlift them into like this crazy German. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, dude, it was
It's
absolutely
insane.
nuts. The amount of strength you have to do that.
Yeah,
It's
guy's
crazy.
a beast. Guy's a beast. And just if you haven't fallen in love with him yet, that means you haven't seen enough of him. Like, and it's been for me, it's literally been, I think it's less than 10 matches I've seen of his. And it's just like, nope, this dude fucking rules. And he's got a look like I think he's got kind of the package. If he can get over with he's already getting over with American audiences and they're presenting him well. If he can do that, sky's the limit. Like we could see our first there's never been a Japanese world champion in America. Male. Like again, you can do Asuka, you can do Hikaru Shida, but there's not been a male world top champion I can recall. Maybe I guess you could probably because I was gonna say Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but he's American born. Like NWA champion, he was certainly an NWA champion. I would have guessed, but he's American born, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever existed. That I could be wrong,
Not
but I can't
yeah.
think of anybody. I can't think
I
of
can't think of anyone
I mean,
either.
I guess Inoki would be the only one, but Inoki's reign isn't officially, like
Oh yeah.
recognized by the WWE. So Inoki would be the only one.
Yeah.
And now he is Japanese born. But like most of his training came in Brazil. That's a weird thing. I learned that not too long ago. Most of his training
Oh.
from Inoki learned most of his shit in Brazil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Yeah. I after his death, deep dived into him and listened to a bunch of like documentaries and stuff. And yeah, like he went over to Brazil and learned most of his training, his early training in Brazil. I think like he had somebody in the family that was Brazilian. Or the Japanese were going there or something. Like it was an easy like immigration port. There was work there, and he learned Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or like what was gonna become Brazilian jiu-jitsu in Brazil. Took that back with him to Japan, used that with like formal martial arts training, and kind of created
Oh.
what would become like the Inoki style. But there's a lot of Brazilian influence, and he was there.
Okay.
I want to say he was there for like between 5 and 10 years or something. Like he from like 16 to maybe like 13. I don't know, maybe less than that, but like till his early 20s. I could be getting
I don't
all
know.
that
It
wrong.
sounds like your formative years enough to fucking definitely have it
Yeah,
stick to
that's what I'm
take it
saying.
back with you. And like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so a lot going on still with AEW before we move on, because this week we had a return, fucking Matthew, and god damn it, it's all about the bone.
Yeah.
Adam
Fuck yeah.
Cole, baby. And
Hey, bad.
this was scary because he comes out in street clothes telling us he's got bad news, man.
Yeah.
This was not fun for me at first. And everybody's thinking the same thing because we've heard all the
Yeah.
rumors about how bad his concussion was and how he's been out for a while. Forbidden Door, he got that fucking concussion, right?
Yeah. So he did run Forbidden Door. And I will say he definitely had me going too until about halfway through it before he did his reveal, like halfway
Mm.
to that. Because the things he was saying, I could tell they were emotional and he meant them. But I was like, if he's having
He
to retire or something, he's going to be crying right now.
he had a giggle deep down inside of him that he couldn't
Yeah,
quite hide. Like, you're right,
exactly.
but it still had me. It still
He did a
had me
great
on.
job.
Yeah, and we've needed him. First off,
Yeah.
I've got a few Adam Cole thoughts. AEW has needed him, and I think especially post Punk, we've needed him. The fans needed, like, this was almost like a new debut. The fans kind of needed this sort of pop, and it was a huge pop.
I wasn't expecting it.
No one was expecting it.
Yeah.
Like, it came out of left field. Apparently, they did one of those things. I've seen the tweet of him like in the backseat of someone's car,
Oh,
like with the hoodie. Like, they snuck him in. I read, I think today, that it was only Tony, Britt, and Adam that knew that he was even going there, like, that day, or apart from the driver or something. And then Excalibur mentioned in something that there was just this section of the show that was TBD. So they knew something was happening, but even they didn't know. And
okay.
oh no, that was who it was. Tony Schiavone had to know to be able to announce him because of the way
Oh,
they
yeah.
interact. Yeah, that was who it was. So, like,
One of the people
it
that,
was,
yeah, because you said I couldn't be
yeah,
less happy to do this or whatever.
yeah, exactly. So Tony Schiavone knew, Tony Khan knew, obviously. Like, I'm sure there's more, but like, of the boys or the girls, whatever, none of them knew. And yeah, what a reaction from the crowd. It proves once again I think he's a draw. I think he's
Yeah.
he is a main event guy. I think it proves kind of that. And it's also going to be so refreshing. And I rarely say this. It's going to be refreshing for someone that's been a heel for so long to be a babyface. And I think we're getting Adam Cole babyface. What say you?
I say I'm all for it. And I think that's what we're getting too. You can't come back and just be a dick, especially with the crowd being behind him as much as they are through that promo, and even when he dropped it saying, it's bad news for everyone in this locker room. So, but where does he fit in first, and kind of where does he kind of go in the next, let's say Revolution, and then beyond that to whatever the next one is, Double or Nothing.
You want me to tell you? Because I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 1, his first feud. It's going to be 3 feuds, and then he's going to beat. First off, this ends with MJF losing the belt to Adam Cole, which will be the right move by this point.
Good move. Yeah.
Number 1, Miro. Puts Miro back in a top spot. Miro's going to make a lot of money. Miro has obviously not been thrilled about some of the programs he's been booked in, or Tony Khan been trying to book him in. It gets him in front of the eyes again. It also, I know him and Cole are like buddies. So I think maybe someone Miro wouldn't have put over in the past. Like, yeah, I'll do it for Cole. So there's your first one. Gets Miro in the equation. Miro is back in, the mix, and that's good. Also, what a huge...
Is it?
No, I think it is. I think
he's kind of back in the mix for no reason.
Well,
what's he gonna do?
Well, I don't know. I feel like at least he's back in the mix, because I think that you can. Like,
he's got to drop some of that gimmick though. The whole,
Redeemer
what
thing.
Was this last? Yeah, he's got to fucking drop that.
Yeah, it was gonna work if it was a feud with the House of Black, but that seemed to get scrapped. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. So he would be my number 1. My number 2 for Adam Cole, and this is going to be a tough one, Eddie Kingston. Now, Eddie Kingston is face as well, and Adam Cole will be positioned as a face. But Eddie, in this whole feud, will lose in defeat, or win in defeat. That's the way I see it. Moving forward from there, I think that you do a few, like, you're going to have several matches. But what ends up happening is we get a winner gets a title shot match or something like that down the line with Cole and Danielson. And Cole and Danielson is where the money is to get to MJF. Cole and Danielson was the match that saved the SmackDown when all the WWE wrestlers got stuck in Saudi Arabia. And it's the only time that they have ever locked up.
Yeah.
And I think that alone, underneath an AEW umbrella, and that was on the SmackDown again. That was the SmackDown that they saved because the guys couldn't get back.
Yeah.
That was when SmackDown was on Tuesdays, I believe. I think that's right, because
I think so, because of
the travel thing, right?
Yeah.
So they brought up all the NXT guys, and they had Cole, and it was the first show I think that Trips had to produce on a whim and pulled up NXT guys, it was a fantastic match. It was one of the matches of the year. So why wouldn't you want to redo that? And why wouldn't you want to redo that as a series? I think what I was going with the Eddie Kingston thing is that when MJF loses, I think Kingston and MJF have a longer feud, and Kingston might even be a reason that MJF loses. That's why I threw that one in there, because I think that there will be this, by that point, Adam Cole support that's such a high level that Kingston even wants to like him. So he will help defeat the devil by any means, and that's helping Adam Cole, who's actually a really good guy that everybody loves. Then put him in a feud with a heel, Daniel Bryan, which ain't hard to do at the moment, and have a series to get to Cole MJF done. That's the way I do it. That's the way I book it. That's my Adam Cole's, and you gotta do it now. And you gotta do it now. Because you gotta start building him up to the big one. And he should be, because we're right now, what are we doing, right? We've got Danielson building up to the big one. But I don't think Danielson takes it off MJF. You?
No.
So if it's not him,
I think MJF holds on to it for a little while longer.
Me too. So I feel like we've got to have someone in that middle scene. And now there's also the easy one to say that it should be like putting Cole and Kenny together and Cole and the Elite stuff back together. Nah, forget it. That ship has sailed.
He's got to leave that.
He's got to leave that.
Cole versus Joe.
Cole versus Joe is cool. I don't know. That sounds like a top-notch Ring of Honor pay-per-view still to me.
I mean, I don't know. Super Card of Honor is coming up. They announced it's going to be in Los Angeles.
Cole's bigger than that. Use Ring of Honor to build a smaller star. I don't think that that's the right usage of Cole. Cole's top main event. And you've got the support right now. You've got strike while the iron's hot. You've got to move Cole permanently into upper. And I don't know. Like, I don't know how you don't get a golden opportunity like this all the time. Just do it now. Like, at least get him there. So it's kind of what they had to do with Hangman. They had to make sure that he was strong enough to survive, like, kind of a shitty, run as, the champ.
So you don't think there's a Cole Hangman somewhere in there?
I think that happens. Eventually.
Or do you think it happens if Cole wins the title?
I think that happens when Cole wins the title. I mean, because Cole with the title is great because he's so diverse. He can be he is the perfect double turn guy. And because he can play a heel so well as well that during his title reign, he can turn.
Yeah.
And maybe that's even part of the story with Hangman and the Elite. Maybe by this point, the Elite are face and Hangman saves the Elite from Adam Cole and things like that. Like this, a lot going on there in my head, but sorry about that. The interesting thing, or something I'm super interested in this following, like, next Dynamite, is what are they going to do now with this interview with Hangman and Renee? Because that, to me, is really, like, obviously it's telling. It's super smart. It's for a reason. Because we all know Renee's married to Mox, and they're in a feud, and he just put him in a concussion and all this type of stuff. I think it's genius. I think the promos from Adam Page have been great lately. So this just, what a smart move. And of course, I love Renee. I'm interested, like, again, like, how they build. I will be looking at everything Adam Page does because I think he's like the barometer for AEW. Like, he's almost like you put the test strip in the pool to see what the chlorine level is. Like, you see if it's good or bad. And Adam Page is that guy. Does that make any sense? Like,
That you just keep dipping in the
I
pool.
just keep dipping it in the pool. But
He
no,
does seem to move around. He does seem to have the ability to move around to like anywhere within the AEW universe and fit in somehow with like a storyline.
It's kind of like if Adam Page is good and he's in a good program, AEW is usually good. And then if he's
It's doing
not,
pretty
it's
good, yeah.
like I look at him in this weird way. I don't know why, but he's one of the to me he's one of the pillars. But
yeah, definitely.
You know, now there's like 1,000 pillars. So who?
Yeah, they're all pillars, man. I don't know. You got to come up with something else now. I
guess. So we'll obviously talk about the best of 7 series, which we should.
Yeah.
What a way to finish it.
It was a pretty banger of a match, man. I mean, yeah. A lot of it looked like it hurt.
I saw him BTE with
it was
Matt with a hole like straight in his leg from that ladder. Like that was an interesting visual that he showed. Yeah, there's a nice gaping hole, like his wife's there and she's like, I think I can stick my whole pinky in it. Like it's like straight to the bone. Yeah, so he got it pretty bad. He's like, I wish I would have known. He was saying on BTE, he's like, I wish I would have known before I left the building. I didn't notice it too much. Like I just thought it was like a scrape or something. He's like, if I was in the building or would have known right after the match, I would have had it stitched up. He's like, now I'm back in the hotel.
Oh, and
it's like, well, I don't have like, okay, fuck. So he's like, we got this liquid bandage for kids, so we're gonna pour that in there and just try and get this to hold together. Like, oh god damn it. Yeah. God. Yeah. So that, yeah. But the whole match, like I heard some criticisms that it was a little too short, and I agree with them. I think that it was they didn't get to use the hand stuff with the hammer very well. Like there were some rushed like this match, even for a Young Bucks match, felt like it was on warp speed. Like it was like with just all of them, right? Like that was a quick fucking match, man. Like it was like it was everywhere, and it was great. I loved it. I didn't think the Elite were really gonna win it in the end, but they did. And the One Wing Angel,
which I guess makes sense because they were supposed to have them.
I mean, yeah, but I thought
you've been wanting Death Triangle to break up for fucking ever. What are you holding on to now?
I don't know. I kind of want
7 bangers, like you know.
I don't know. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready for it to all go away.
And I agree. Well, and I agree that it felt rushed a little bit, and it was over before I thought it was going to be. But also, if you've been watching, you've seen 6 of these matches over the past 8 weeks. So, like, I don't know. I don't need like a 40 minute.
Yeah,
I don't need 40 minutes to get fucking just go quick, do your spots, like have it happen, like make it look good, and maybe rush because there's so much action happening so quickly. It feels even more rushed because it's all that you don't get those breathing moments, right? Because there's so many people who can keep doing high risk maneuvers.
2 spots that like I keep going back to in my mind, and one's more obvious than the other. The obvious one is the spot where Kenny just like puts himself through a table with the Terminator dive. Like that one, was
dude. That's like just straight down. Yeah.
Like, okay, you're Invisible Man wrestling again. Good job, Kenny. All right.
Yeah.
Like, and then the other one that I haven't seen as many people like, I guess, gloat over that I will, but it stands out to me as more impressive than some of the more other impressive moves. And I believe it was Rey Fenix and Nick Jackson. Nick is climbing the ladder. I could be Matt. I might be mixing the two up in this particular spot. But Rey Fénix jumps off the top rope, I believe. And as Nick or Matt is climbing the ladder, grabs him in a twisting arm drag and flips him off the ladder with an arm drag as he's climbing up. And the timing of it is just so like what the fuck even happened there? Like, how?
So I did see that because
you know what
I
I'm talking
watched
about?
it back. I rewound it a couple of times. And so Nick, there is one
it's like a wrist lock, like arm drag, you know?
Yeah, there's one split second you can see Nick, because I watched it back a couple of times, where he positions himself and he kind of like is like getting ready to like jump.
He slows himself down or something.
You could kind of see it, but the first time I saw it, that's why I rewound it. I was like, what the fuck was that? It was super cool.
And then the sort of botched whatever it was that I think, again, it was Matt and Fénix onto that ladder that was draped across like the ring, the one, that really bad Matt bump, which I think is where he got that was incredible. And then package pile driver by Pentagon on Matt.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's where he said he got it, weirdly. I think that's where he said he got it. He got it on a weird, like, one of the spiky bits of the ladder or something. Okay. I think that might have been the spot. And then, dude, to end it with who's kicking out of a one-winged angel off the top of a ladder, right? Like, and it looked glorious. It looked every bit as good as it should. Like, and not pinned, obviously, because Kenny had to climb the ladder to get the belt and everything. But I'm glad it was Kenny too to get the belt to win the match
in that arena where the fucking Lakers had that game 7. It's that whole thing, right?
He clinched the win. He told
he had his fucking Kobe moment.
He had his Kobe moment. Yeah, dude. Like, what a series. I'm obviously, it would be.
So what happens?
It would be
Death Train?
Well, exactly. It would be smart to break them up at this point. Now, like, give Pac needs some time off too. They probably all need some time off. They've been going hard. Give them all some time off. See what it's like. You can just bring Pac back on his own. You can just bring the Lucha Bros back on their own. You don't even need to do an angle where they break up. They just kind of come back when they come back on the road. Like,
exactly.
That's fine.
If they don't show up this week and say anything on this week's Dynamite or Rampage, then it's fine.
I'm more curious of what they do with the Elite and the trios, right? Like, who is that next thing? They're going to want to keep them on them for a while. So I think you need to keep House of Black away from them for a while, which are like which in my opinion should be the team to eventually beat them. But like,
I'll give you a fucking softball for them to run through.
Go.
Fucking mogul affiliates.
Yeah, you
fucking stupidest thing ever, and I don't like it. Let's let the Elite run them over.
It's pulling down Swerve. Like, I think
100%. And that promo this past week, I don't remember if it was on Dynamite or Rampage, but
Rampage.
Yeah, it probably was. So Rampage, but was that Puff Daddy's son that he was with?
That whole thing was awful. I don't know.
I think
my brain my brain turned off. You know when that happens? Like, he just, like, someone's talking and it just like I'm hearing the words, but they're not doing things. Like they're not, like, my brain.
Dude, it was just and then even at the end, it just sounded so weird the way Swerve. I don't know. Maybe it was just the way he phrased it. He was like, "We're bringing destruction." Then the way he just ended the sentence, it was just so fucking weird. And I was like, I just don't buy this at all. None of it. Why are fucking broke ass Brock Lesnar wannabe? And
hey, leave Parker Boudreaux alone. That's my buddy on Twitter. Okay, like, he's the only one. You're not allowed to make fun of him. He's my friend. But you can make fun of the other ones, like the guy that looks like
Parker Boudreaux.
I know. He's my buddy. Leave him alone. He's trying. He's trying hard. Yeah. But if here's what I do hope it eventually leads to is a Swerve Kenny match, like a singles match. I think that could be really, really interesting. Like if this can get us there further down the line, that would be super cool. So yeah, you're right though. Like that's a team they can have a month-long feud with or whatever, but I feel like it needs to be
Also,
big.
what a bad name, Mogul Affiliate.
It's
It
terrible.
just doesn't sound good coming off the
It
tongue.
kind
It
of
doesn't
doesn't
flow
make
well.
sense, or like, okay, so
If you're
what?
a mogul, why are
Yeah,
you also an affiliate?
so you're the affiliate to the mogul? Because that sounds really lame. Like you're like
Yeah,
your
it doesn't
buddies.
sound like you're the boss.
It doesn't sound like you're the boss to me. It sounds like you're.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, all right. So we okay. We're picking up on the same thing.
Yeah.
I would have said Dark Order, but no, I don't think you can do that right now. Like there's not. There was a time with AEW where there was like a million trios, like people you could line up. It's not that way anymore. I guess you can do the whole, if they get Andrade back, you can do the that La Faction or whatever with those guys, like the Preston Vance, whatever his name is now, Roosh and Andrade. You could do them. They're gonna do something with like Butcher, the Blade, and someone. Because they're, I think, still involved with somebody. They're gonna probably do something, maybe even.
They're about to have a match on Dark with against Claudio and Yuta.
Yeah. Okay. Don't care. I again, like, I guess it would be easier if we knew what direction the Bucks were going, because half the time they're faces, half the time they're heels. I guess one would have to say they're more heel than they are face. But then, like, Kenny seems like he's face in America and heel in Japan, and it's a really kind of a confusing dynamic. So it's sort of like, it's based for me, like, where do you stand on the Elite? Like, they're always going to be, it's kind of like when Cody was in this position, right? Is he a heel or a face? Well, he doesn't really believe in that. And it kind of just is based upon an individual's perception of one or the other. He could be either, depending on how you look at things. I think the Elite are like that too. So without a definitive heel or face, it's hard to put in position the people they have to face them down the line. I'm sure there's something that I'm not remembering, or some team that Tony Khan has in his head that he's going to put together that all of a sudden are going to be facing the Elite. But realistically, the only team that I think could even come close to having a good feud with the Elite is the House of Black.
Yeah.
And it's way too soon to throw them right at it. They're kind of starting their own thing, their own feud right now with Kingston, and like there's. Did you see that, by the way, on Rampage? Kingston, what was it? Kingston, Ortiz, and Black
Malachi,
King's the Black Throne, Malachi and Brody King. Kingston and Black have some really good chemistry.
They do.
I was super into that, so I kind of don't. I don't want that to be torn apart either right now. Let that play out. I want to see more of that.
That was cool. I mean,
do you have anyone with the Elite? Like,
well, when Orange Cassidy doesn't have that title, you could do like best friends with Orange Cassidy.
That seems lame though, because we know exactly. That seems so lame because we know just it's too obvious that they're not a threat. Like, and that bothers me sometimes. AEW bothers me a lot with that there's just no chance in hell this person is beating this person. There's no one, there's really no, I can't name a good trio that's an actual threat for the Elite. Just saying.
All right. Here we go. Let's see. Who do we? All right. We have the Embassy.
Oh, I just figured out what they're gonna do. I just figured out what they're gonna do. This is how they do Bullet Club. This is how they do a Bullet Club invasion. They're gonna have Tama Tonga.
Oh, they're gonna have
Jay White and one of them goons come in against the Elite. That's how they further the New Japan storyline. That's exactly what they're gonna do. They have right,
Yeah.
like that's the only thing that makes sense.
It really is,
And
because I mean,
and then they can stretch that out until eventually dropping to the House of Black, possibly.
Yeah.
Like, because if they do a New Japan storyline with it, they can milk 4 to 6 months out of it.
Yeah.
They can milk it to Forbidden Door, and
Yep.
Yep.
I'm for that.
That's exactly what they do. That's exactly what they do. Yep.
Cool.
Speaking of that, and New Japan and AEW, I think this is a great tie-in. I have in my notes here, and I had to jot this down. Juice Robinson doesn't look very good, huh?
Dude, all right. Did we enter like a different multiverse? This is like a Mandela effect, because I don't remember him looking like that.
He looks weird as fuck. He's always had this like stretched eye. Like, it's something with his weird face. He's always had a weird face. He's always had a weird face.
It looks weird. It looks weirder.
Yeah, because he's got this shitty scraggly beard, and then his shitty scraggly hair. Like, he looked
better with the dreadlocks. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like the homeless guy in Bullet Club to me. Like, I don't know what it is about him, but
yeah,
he looks.
He does look like a homeless dude in Bullet Club,
Yeah.
who like wants to take you like back behind the 7-Eleven and show you these parts for a motorcycle he's selling or something.
Correct.
Like that, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You're like, dude, I don't want to come, and he's like, no, man, you're gonna come. Come on, man, just check it out real quick. I promise you won't be disappointed.
So I saw his time way back in the day in NXT, wasn't impressed. Went to New Japan, saw some of the stuff he did there, and was like, okay, Juice is getting like, on form. But I've never been, I don't think I'm a Juice guy. I'm going to go ahead and say that. And this match, who did he have his match? It was Juice.
You're not drinking it. You're not drinking the juice.
I'm not drinking the juice. He lost to somebody. Who was it? Was it Orange? Is that what I'm?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Orange this past week.
Yeah.
I didn't think he looked particularly great in the ring. He had a promo beforehand that did not land with me, and
that promo was not good.
Did you see the jackhammer he tried? So he tried to do the straight up like jackhammer, like the Goldberg jackhammer.
Yeah. Oh, he wrestled Darby.
That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, I knew. Yeah, see, that's it. Yeah, that's who he lost to. That's who I was thinking of. And I was like, no, it's not Orange.
I know. I was like, I know it's fucking not Cassidy, but for a second I couldn't remember.
Thank you for correcting me. So, this jackhammer, if you've not seen it, it's atrocious. Like, it just, I guess he would.
No, you know what? I do remember, because they mentioned it on commentary. Now that I remember this,
yeah.
So they did, because they brought it up, and Jim Ross said, jackhammer, that's not a wrestling move. Or Tony said, he's like, that's not a wrestling move you see a lot around these parts.
Yeah.
And then I think, and then JR was like, called the juice hammer or something.
Yeah, he called it something stupid like that. You're absolutely right. But it didn't look good, man. Like, they were trying to put him over, and I don't think Juice is long for AEW. I don't know what his contract is, but there was no, like, the crowd was not connected. Granted, it's Rampage, right? They're tired. It was like a taping and everything after a Dynamite. It wasn't a live Rampage. But, man, I kind of feel for him, but I don't, because I don't connect with him either. Like, there was nothing there. I don't support Darby very much. I was fully in favor of Darby Will in that match. And again, winning that match rather. But again, this was a tale of, well, there's no way Juice Robinson's winning this match. So why are you booking him if you want us to take him seriously? Why are you booking him even in this position? Seems kind of stupid to me.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
These comments on fucking these comments on YouTube, though. People are all about Juice Robinson in these YouTube comments.
Of course they are.
They're drinking the juice.
Back to the interview with Renee and Hangman. I hope
Yeah.
I need a buckshot lariat for on Renee. Like just
Yes. I think Moxley's gonna be the cameraman.
yeah.
Um, well, we talked about some of the matches or the stuff in the trios, like the hard hitting stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a good segue or not,
Sure,
but
I'm sure.
the women's match that we saw
Oof.
on Rampage, and I mean,
Great segue.
that at the very beginning, that bump that Anna Jay took.
Well,
I mean,
it wasn't the very beginning. It came towards.
it was. I mean, they were still at the top of the ramp.
No, but they got to the ring. It went back up to the ramp. Like I watched the whole match, and I thought it was
Are
at
you
the very
sure?
yes, because they came out with the hockey sticks and they got him to the ring, and they had their spots in the ring, and then Willow and Anna Jay ventured back up the ramp to where that you're getting confused because remember when they came out, Ruby was like, "Get the tables," because they were doing the Dudley thing. They got the
Yeah, that
table
didn't go
then,
over
but
well.
it didn't. Like the
Oh,
actual
then they went
spot,
back down.
the actual
you're right.
spot was
Okay,
later
yep,
in the
yep.
match. Yeah.
Now I remember. Yeah, thank you.
And it was, you know what? It was a pretty decent match. Like it. I was telling Teresa this. I watched this at work today, actually, and maybe it's recency bias, but I felt a lot for that match, and I don't feel much for Ruby Soho. I feel a lot for Willow. I feel a lot like she's my girl. Like I don't know. I got a connection. Me and Willow, we're bros.
Yeah.
I don't feel a lot for Tay Conti, really. Don't feel a lot for Anna Jay, really. And Ruby has been a bit of a disappointment since coming into AEW. There's the obvious. The blade job was spectacular. But before that, it was actually becoming a captivating street fight for modern
it was.
women's wrestling. And they did a lot of, whoa, okay, this is real. This is okay. They made me believe more than I've felt in a while for Ruby Soho in the course of this match. I thought everything. I think the storytelling, I think the performance, I think it was unbelievable. And I like to have my mind changed in wrestling. Like it's important that we all keep our minds open because your favorite wrestler can become your least, and your least can become your first. This happened to me with Baron Corbin years ago. I'm like, fuck, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Ruby Soho killed it. And the amount of respect that I have for her as a performer after that match, incredible. The amount of respect I have for Tay Conti for that match.
I was going to say, you got to give it to each one of them.
And then I still love Willow. But the amount, if she's okay, fuck. The amount of respect I will have for Anna Jay when she comes back for this. It needs to be said. She took a flat bat on a concrete floor from about 10 feet up, 8 feet up, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
I've watched this a bunch of times because I also kind of want to protect Willow because she's my girl. She overshot the table.
Yeah,
which should have cushioned the blow for this spot. But you can see that she knows she's done it midair. And you can see her wrap her legs around her as much as she can and try and hold her as upright as possible as to minimize the impact of the floor. I think she realized midair, oh, fuck, we're going too fast. We're going too far. We're not going to hit the target. And I do think there's a moment there. You can sort of see it where she's sort of like, there's like a twinge where she sort of like, oh, and the positioning changes just a tad. I think she protected her head and the back of her neck. I think that's what she was able to do midair. I think the brunt of what Anna Jay got, I could be wrong here, but I think the brunt of what she got was on her coccyx. I think that's where the impact really was.
What it looked like.
I think that's better, and I think that was Willow doing her best to, I still think she fucked up, but I think she.
I mean, I don't think there's any malintent. I just think it wasn't.
No, but I
looked
think
like a little bit of an overshot.
But I think it could have been way worse had she not reacted the way she did. I guess that's what I'm trying to propose.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to watch it in slow and see that. But.
If you see it, like, tell me if I'm crazy or not. But I think I saw that. Again, it could just be my bias because I love Willow. It was obviously Anna Jay was not seeing the rest of the match, and it was near the end of the match anyway. But Willow had, when she went, because obviously Ruby got the pin, Ruby got the win after the thumbtack spot on Anna Jay, on Tay Conti. And there was a look, if you look at the end of that match, Willow you can tell that something has bothered her. She knows at that point, like, there's something that's like, oh, fucked up. Like, she's not happy in this win. Like, I know it's been like a death-defying street fight, but there's something still, like, I think real life here. I think that, she probably feels awful for it.
I'm sure.
Anna Jay, they did, someone, I think, from the arena said that she did get up with help and walk away. It wasn't a stretcher job. So that's got to be positive. That's got to be really positive.
I mean, I think what we know so far is that it's good as she can be, at least right now.
I really hope so.
I think we would have heard more, I think, by now.
If it was like tremendously bad. Yeah. I
I
also think it's telling. Also think it's telling, just real quick, that Willow is booked on tomorrow's Dynamite. I don't think you book Willow if you think she's unsafe, or second, I think it might be even a little insensitive to book her if Anna Jay's like seriously hurt, right? Like, so
yeah, totally.
I would assume based on that. And seriously, like, I wish Anna Jay the best. Like, that's,
I would think so.
She's gotten a lot better. She's one of these that's
she
grown.
has in the past couple of months. I've actually watched a few, and I'm like, damn, she's actually gotten a ton better.
Absolutely.
And then I'm sure you saw MJF, his tweet that he then deleted,
which is that I thought that was kind of sweet in a way. Like, he broke kayfabe a little bit. Like, as much as just MJF's is gonna break it, just to basically be like,
that's why you do that.
Fuck you, all you assholes. The women are allowed to do all this, and they put their body on the lines just like the men, basically. And it lets you just in that tiny glimpse,
tiny bit,
that there's a real person behind there, and it's also what the character would do too. It's he would have that little glimpse, and then no, I shouldn't do that, and delete it. Like, so I'm totally I'm also even in a kayfabe. If you're like, I still think it plays into kayfabe as well. I think he's fine.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, it works on multiple levels.
Yeah. I did not like any of the bullshit with JAS and that shit on Dynamite, where they're ripping off their pants and taking away time from the main event.
That was stupid.
There was another bit, it was the women's match on Dynamite that is pretty terrible. That whole thing with Sheeta tossing the stick, the
kendo stick.
Sorry, I forgot the name of it for a second. But tossing the kendo stick in between, and now, like, that was just all terrible.
Yeah, it was really
the
bad.
match wasn't very good as well. I don't have high hopes for Saraya as a wrestler anymore. I think you just need to make her a figurehead or manager. Get through this program, get done. And I don't know. I don't think that's a good idea.
I will say this though. One, the entrance and everything has really been growing on me, but I've really been liking watching everyone's entrances on them. Britt's entrance on that looks
See,
fucking
I'll have
awesome.
to. Yeah, you said that to me
There's
earlier.
all the blood dripping down from the. It looks fucking
I have to
cool.
check that out. I never really paid attention, but there are certain ones that I've noticed that really
cool.
stand out with the new set, and then other ones.
Yeah, it's not all of them, but some of them are fucking cool. Yeah.
All right, I'll check hers out. I haven't.
Yeah, hers is gnarly. It's cool. But
Very
yeah,
cool.
I Saraya, I will say that like. Yeah, that match just didn't do much again, and she hasn't done much. Is this her second match? Third match?
Second.
Back?
I think it was her second.
Okay, second, yeah.
And we said this about Joe, right? We said like maybe it just takes.
We did.
And Joe got there, and Joe did it. So I hope I'm wrong. I just have a. I don't know. I got a weird feeling that the Saraya thing ain't gonna work out too great for AEW. That's just my personal opinion. And that be that.
But hey, prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. Exactly. Is there much more AEW talk before we take a break and maybe head into the wide world of the Royal Rumble and WWE and goddamn all of the 10 pages of legal notes I have to read before we get into it? Like, do you have anything more?
No. I think I'm gonna go get a Cinnabon and yeah.
Oh, I got one more, but it's really quick. I think it looks like Matt Hardy's going broken again. Maybe it's just on BTE, but Matt Hardy went broken on BTE.
Great.
Which I know you've been dying for, Matthew. I know the internet wrestling community has just been, please, more Matt Hardy. That's what we need in 2023. Definitely more delete stuff. Definitely,
we need more of that. Yeah.
We definitely need that.
Yeah. Yeah, Brother Nero and Uncle How, or is Uncle How? No, Uncle How.
He's got Brother Nero has his court date finally. His pre-trial starts on January 18th. Start that today, or something like. He's finally actually going to trial after all these months of that. The law.
All right.
The law. We'll talk a little bit more about the law when we get back from break, as much as we knew about it when it is in terms of Vince McMahon and professional wrestling. But most importantly, we'll be talking about our thoughts, our ideas on the state of WWE, the Royal Rumble, which is not this Saturday, but the following. I'm actually excited for the Rumble. I think we can see some cool stuff, and we'll talk all about that. Of course, we'll also talk about Raw XXX number 30 Legends Night.
Legends Night, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And maybe
but every couple months.
And then there's even some independent news and some Impact news and stuff that we want to talk about too. So stick around if you're on the Twitch, twitch.tv/ONRS live. If you're listening on the podcast, hey, fuck it. No, I'll do it as one big long one. And what do we say when we get out of here, Matthew? A little bit of a woo! Woo! It's with no pleasure that I kind of have to do this, but on break I just received some pretty awful news. And one Jay Briscoe is no longer with us. He was apparently 38 years old and has died in a car crash. You'll hear about it all, I'm sure, in more detail than I can give you. But one thing that I think that we can do out of respect here on this podcast is the one and only 10-bell salute, because he won't get it from the WWE, and he may even not get it from AEW. So, with that being said, Jay. Yeah, it's tough. Especially when you hear it's not some dumb wrestling thing, right, Matthew? You hear it and it's like, oh, it's a car accident. It's a regular person thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's one of those things that just makes you take a second, brings you right back to the present, right?
Yep.
Just like, oh wow, this is really all you have. Can all be gone in a second. All you have is what's happening right now, and in that instant, I mean, we don't know any of the details, but it's horribly sad.
Think
When
they
anyone passes away like that. But
look it up
I
for me
feel
if
really bad for his brother and
well, look it up for
family.
me. Yeah, no, I mean, Mark is going to be destroyed by this. His family is going to be destroyed by this. The Ring of Honor family is going to be destroyed by this. Um, look up how many times they won that championship. I want to say this last one beating FTR was 13. Keep in mind, we're talking about the current was the current Ring of Honor tag team, one half of the current Ring of Honor tag team champion. Sorry, I can't talk. Fuck.
They are a record 8-time Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions and 1-time IWGP Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, they had, and there I think they are the most winningest, most title reigns of any Ring of Honor tag team, right?
Yeah, it's a record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, here's the deal. Let's focus on the positive for now, and let's definitely focus on this series of matches they just had with FTR.
Right.
What a way, I guess, to leave a legacy. And that dog collar match that'll be studied throughout time now. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to look at the weird positives of this. Like there are no real positives. They could have done so much more, and I think there was so much more planned and in store for them to really kind of. I think they were going to be a major part of carrying the Ring of Honor legacy and name forward. And
Yeah, I mean, I think the positive is that one, he existed and loved pro wrestling enough to be able to put on those matches
yeah,
that we enjoyed and had such a connection with Mark to be able to do it as a tag team, and they had their own style. And like you said, this last match, the dog collar match, that's a big one to go out on. But also the positive is that we were also around to see and witness that and to be the ones who got to put that energy back, right? Because as fans, that's what they put all that energy and the love in and their bodies into it, right? And we the fans give them back that energy and let them know that we're invested. And so positive is that we all got to coincide in some crazy
Well,
weird time and space so that we could all appreciate what they were doing and they appreciated everything that came before them to make that happen.
and I'll be honest, before, like, I'd say probably 3 years ago, I wouldn't have known who the Briscoes were, right? And even up until this past year, I wasn't like super, like, I guess, fluent in their work or had seen a ton of it. Um, but this past year had made me realize that's what I've been missing. And I think I probably am like a lot of fans right now that have felt like we caught it just in time, that we caught some of the magic that were the Briscoe brothers and dem boys, right?
Boys, yeah.
And we got to see it as it was really reaching its apex. And I do truly feel like they were at the apex when this has just happened, January 17th of 2003. And I guess like they never really got the biggest stage of them all, but it was a stage that they got to where I wouldn't have personally ever got to see it had it not been taken. Like ROH got into that stage, I probably would not have seen this FTR rivalry. And now it is
Yeah.
made, and now it has made me, just in these few minutes, even talking to you, Matthew, made me want to really go and look at all the best matches they've had in their career, because those will never exist anymore. Some people are going to say Mark can rebound and be a singles star and all those types of things. While I think that's probably true, Mark, you'll never hear this, but take care of yourself. Your mental health is more important than any of this wrestling business, any of this bullshit. I know you'll never hear this, but I think of things like
No,
that. I
you
mean,
got to
like,
put it out there.
and yeah, wow. I can't imagine what the families are going through right now. Just keep your head
I
up,
mean,
keep those chickens good, and
yeah.
and keep on keeping on. And
I mean, it's kind of. I mean, I kind of hate to segue it in like this, but it is kind of along the same lines because losing someone like so close to you too. Imagine like someone you're in that profession with, right? And just doing it day in and day out and then trying to go back, right? So easy to say he could be great as a single star, which sure, yeah, he could have success there, but it's also got to be very tough on him mentally if he ever gets to that point to like get back in the ring without him, right? That's a big thing. But we've also seen, I think you and I both maybe had it in our notes for the show, that Nash is kind of
oh
struggling a bit. And
yeah,
that's because of a death, obviously, in the family.
yeah. Well, his son died from. I
Yeah.
mean, it was basically complications from alcoholism, right? Like
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
that's the general thought process of it. And did you see? Like, I haven't had. I've read the transcript. I haven't.
I've read the transcript. I haven't
I
listened,
can't
but
watch. I don't think I want. I didn't want to watch it, and but it does sound pretty
reading the
ominous.
transcript is fucking ominous and heartbreaking.
It is.
And
If
what's ominous and heartbreaking even more about it is that when he says that, he wakes up and there were 3 and now there are 2, right?
Yeah.
And it's just
Yep.
like the weight of this one, right? Even though there are still 2, it's like so tough. And I can't imagine. I don't have kids and don't plan to at this point or any point I can foresee right now. But I've always said that, about like even my family to my parents, like shit, my brother, like I'm just like, I don't know what
Dude,
it's like to be a parent.
Nash
Like,
on his podcast is like, I think what starts it is he's like, time flies when you have guns in your mouth.
yeah.
Like, that's like, and he's doing this podcast with Sean Oliver, and everybody who's a wrestling fan knows Sean Oliver. He did all the shoot videos in his terrible suit and with his terrible like
Yeah.
backgrounds, like back in the early 2000s. Like, Sean Oliver, and he's the one sitting down with Kevin Nash, and Sean basically says, like, Kevin, you can't say that. Like, I know you have guns. Like, I know I'm
Yeah.
paraphrasing all this transcript and everything, but I know you have guns. Like, you can't say that. And he's like, I forget what the last quote is, but it's something like, I can do whatever I want. Like, what would you do? You have it? Do you have?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, whew. And he blames himself kind of for his son's death, and you can tell that's going on. Like, poor Kevin Nash. I just saw this tweet right now. I do want to read from Tony Khan. Of course, Tony Khan
Yep.
owns Ring of Honor, AEW. Sadly, Jamin Pugh has passed away, known to fans as Jay Briscoe. And I'm sorry if it's not Jamin Pugh, if I got that wrong. Known to fans as Jay Briscoe. He was a star in Ring of Honor for over 20 years, from the first show until today. Jay and his brother Mark dominated Ring of Honor, reigning as champions to this day. We'll do whatever we can to support his family. Rest in peace, Jamin. So hopefully Tony is, and it sounds like he is already on the case and is going to look after him. Like, that's something that probably needs to happen. If you remember correctly, the Briscoes as well have been a bit of a controversial team because of some homophobic remarks made years and years ago, which they've since repeatedly apologized for and have grown up from and explained in great context, by the way, why, like, they're different people and why the remarks were made and why they wouldn't make them now. Yet this was always a big bone of contention with Warner Brothers Discovery when it came to putting the Briscoes on TV. Like, they would not allow them on an AEW program, even though they allow, of course, plenty of other Ring of Honor stars on their shows. They were the exception. They could not be let on there. I'm curious as to how this is handled tomorrow night on Dynamite, and if they give a 10 bell salute, and if, like, because only simply because I'm not trying to be like, shock jockey here. I'm curious as to how, because of that tumultuous relationship, how this is handled by Tony Khan, by AEW, by Ring of Honor, because if you're a Ring of Honor purist type fan and you don't get a 10 bell salute on that show tomorrow night, you're not keeping your subscription to Honor Club, are you? I mean, just, I'm thinking of people that are like, have been Ring of Honor since day one, right? And knowing that Tony Khan has the ability to do this, but the network might like have some, problem with it. It's kind of a no.
I don't know.
Fuck that. Fuck that. You got to give him the 10 bell. You got to do it.
They're leading to that, like, contract negotiations and everything. I don't know. I'm not saying Tony won't fight for it, and he might just say, like, what's the fine? Right? But I don't know. Could it mess up I would like to think that it's not going to be, and that you can memorialize someone, and that a network would. I don't know.
All right. I mean, we can't do this forever on the show, obviously. We got to switch gears and we got to at least turn up the charisma and the lightheartedness of what this show really is intended to be.
Yeah.
And we're very sorry, of course, if any more news comes of this, we'll let you know. But, that's why I did my 10 bell salute.
Yeah.
We got it out the way. And guess what? If no one else does one for him, there was one here, right? Like that's that's the most I can say. And yeah, we'll I'm sure I'll get a buzz on my fucking thing if there's anything really important that we need to report before the end of the show. But we'll just switch bars and we'll go to something that's I mentioned like funny Twitters to follow earlier in the day, or earlier in the show. So I got like two more of this. I've got one that's a wrestler and one that if you're just a wrestling fan, and I'm gonna give you at least one a week, like Owen's
Okay.
Twitter follow of the week that you need to be like hitting up.
All
So
right.
if you're not following T-Bar, and I forgot what his actual handle is, I can you look
I'll
up
look it up.
T-Bar for me?
Mm-hmm.
So he's Dijakovic, of course, right? Now, what's his WWE name now? What's his name?
I mean, his Twitter is at
Well,
Retribution.
okay, well, this is what it is. This is why it's hilarious. He's been trying to get it changed and contacting Twitter for so goddamn long and can't. And his last tweet is basically like, "This is haunting me. I'm trying to get into my new gimmick. You guys won't let me change it back to my name." Like, he's tagging Elon Musk. He's tagging everyone.
Wait, yeah, 10 hours ago.
Yeah, that is one.
It's been almost 2 months since we officially submitted a request to change my at on at Twitter and at Instagram. If you are at verified, they don't let you change it yourself. I don't know what it will take, but let me know at Elon Musk because this motherfucker T-Bar stays haunting me.
He says he's haunting me. So he's saying he's playing into it. This motherfucking T-Bar is still haunting me in real life.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so if you're just interested in that drama, I think that's fun to follow. Just follow T-Bar. What is he at T-Bar Retribution or something?
Yeah, T-Bar's TBARR Attribution. So the second R in T-Bar starts the beginning
of Retribution.
Yeah.
You'll find it. Just type in T-Bar. I'm sure it'll pop right up. And then my final and my official that everyone needs to follow every week needs to be where's it in my notes? I got it here. It's right here. Damn it. I'm lost. Oh, there it is. Worst attires in WWE, which is at WWE Worst Attires. And it's a
WWE Worst Attires.
At WWE Worst Attires, and you get to see all of the worst attires that any wrestler has ever worn. There's a couple pictures a day. There's Bret Hart in green, bro, like a greenish teal. There's man, there's some just horrible attires that have flown through that place. They've been focusing on Christian Cage a lot lately, with some of his bad ones. And yeah, it's great. You see, just like
I'm looking at a few right now.
Yeah, that's a good follow.
That Bret Hart green is horrible.
I know, right? Because you're so used to seeing him too with like the bright pink, and
oh, dude, and of course he got fucking speared by. Oh wait, no, that was Christian in green. Okay, well, he did get speared by Goldberg.
Well, yeah, that happens. Bret Hart down there in green. He's like a greenish teal. You'll find him. He's down there.
Oh, I did find him. It's teal. It's like Ninja Turtle green.
Yeah.
Like leggings with like the black skinny little singlet just coming up the top. The leggings cover like what the singlet would be on the bottom with black knee pad. He looks horrible.
Yeah,
What
dude.
is this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to at least every week we need to focus. Like, if you follow this Twitter, you send me like your pick for your worst attire of the week, and then we put
All right.
and then we talk about it. You know,
Yeah.
we're coming up with bits here. We got smelly or not, and now we got worst attire of the week. Like, that's
Yes.
we just we just watch the modern wrestling and pick what we think is the worst attire of the week.
Yeah.
It writes itself.
Perfect. I
It
love
writes
it. Writes
itself. Writes itself. Just like, I guess, do we want to get into WWE like stuff? Do we want to get into the fun stuff or the legal stuff, or how, like, what is going on? Because we do need to talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, we do. I feel like maybe we just do the legal stuff now and then do the fun stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well,
It's like get the homework out of the way.
Sure. So I guess like the biggest stuff today was that first off, WWE's Vice President of Communications, Adam Hopkins, is out of the company after over 25 years. So I guess this is the second story that broke today, so I'm doing them backwards. But so I guess Hopkins, yeah, he worked, 25 years is a long time. He worked in a variety of roles and was a point of contact for a lot of us in the media, says Fightful Select. So, like, that's a, and that could be an interesting thing, that he might have been a guy leaking stuff to the sheets. And
yeah, they said he was integral in like setting up interviews and stuff too.
So every single one of the sheets today, be it Meltzer, be it Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp, all of the fucking Thurston, all of them, right? You know what they said? Really sad to hear this news. This guy was like the greatest dude to work with. He was always super cool with us and nice and blah, 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 blah. Huh. Interesting. This one might have been a leak. This one might have been, and hear this one out. So there's been this guy on Reddit, on Squared Circle, which is the main. There's wrestling and Squared Circle. Squared Circle is probably the best subreddit for wrestling stuff.
If you Google anything about wrestling, you always see Squared Circle Reddit, the subreddit.
Always.
But I never see the wrestling one unless I like get into Reddit.
And so there's been this guy who has, not everything he's posted has been 100% correct, but his track record has been pretty good. About predicting like random things and like almost essentially proving that he was an insider. Little things like watch Bailey come out in blue gear today or something, like things like this. Like he would constantly like have little threads. This guy's gonna like, and he would like, okay, he gained like popularity because of the fact, yeah, he was pretty much like there were things wrong here and there, but he was predicting some big shit, and he would call things out beforehand. Something big's gonna happen tonight. Like, pay attention to this segment or whatever. And it seems like it is a WWE insider. Now, some people have put the pieces together. Adam Hopkins, this guy's name, by the way, Kermit, was always Kermit on the forums. Kermit, some numbers, whatever. A hop. Frog, Kermit, a hop, Adam Hopkins. Boom! Everybody solved it. Now, who knows?
It could be a detective, dude. Well, you gotta fucking at least make it like a mini series, like Serial or something, before you solve it.
Right, I know. I'm not good at the suspense part, I guess. But no, I don't know if that's true, obviously. Like, it's a random theory. But I do think it's interesting. There was another chick
I've never
They
seen
got
Kermit hop.
no, I never seen him hop either. But he is a frog.
He is a frog.
Frogs
He is
do
a frog.
hop. Frog, you know. But
Yeah, that's pretty much all they do.
the bigger point of all of this is it was him, and I forget the gal's name, but there was somebody else right before we came on air who also, like, it was just came out, it was reported today, but that she had resigned or retired last week. So, like, as things are developing, and she was another VP. And
Yeah.
I heard it said best. It's like, no matter how you, and this probably is the transition, no matter how you look at all of this stuff, whether it be the Saudis, the, blah, 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 it's for sale to some degree. And a company that isn't going through a big, big, big change doesn't have like multiple VPs leave in a week, an EVP leave in a week, a blah, 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 blah. Like the number is, going up and counting of people in very prominent positions changing and what have you. This is exactly what happens when a company gets sold. No?
Yeah,
Yeah?
but I don't. Yeah, but I don't think it's any news that WWE is going to get sold anymore. I mean, they're gonna, but they said
Right.
it's going to take at least into the summer.
Right. But it obviously plays into, I don't know. The news of the Saudi thing broke out right as we got off air last week. They were saying that the Saudis or the Public Investment Fund had bought WWE, right? Then the following day we hear that's not true. I have a sneaking suspicion that there was a deal, and there might still be a deal very much on the table with the Saudis, and that the WWE leaked that story themselves to see what public interest and thought would be if they did indeed get bought by the Saudis. Would people be, as irate about it? And they were. And would that affect them selling because of public perception? Do you think there's any truth to that weird conspiracy?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past anyone or Vince or them, or I mean, it's also, I mean, I would do that if I were in that position. I
Right.
mean, you want to see what's actually going to happen, and also you start, you're kind of testing the waters to see, like, is the company going to be worth as much, or are people going to sell out a bunch of shares, right? Like, if they start hearing this and they know it's going to happen and it's preemptively coming, do they then lower the value of the company by lowering the stock value?
That's the game he's playing right now because it's got to be quick before the stock price falls. And it's at a really all-time high. I still don't see it going. I heard this is an interesting proposition, and it's true. I don't think it's going to any major media company. Like a Fox, a Comcast, which was always top of my list, or a Disney. And most of that is really concerning the deals over television rights. The only one to me that would make sense would be back to basically everything on USA with Comcast. But those negotiations between those networks, it doesn't benefit Disney if they buy the product, right? And their shit's on fucking those other channels. That does them no good.
Yeah.
And it only helps their competition. So it's gonna be a weird group of investors all with a bunch of weird shares. And then Vince will still have, which he does right now, he has an 81% share, like basically an 81% voting stake of the company. Like that because of the weight of his shares. That's why he was able, and that's what happened today, essentially. The news broke that Vince McMahon doesn't have to do anything to appease stockholders. He put himself back in charge. Like, this today was the official, nah, I'm back. I can do whatever I want. Now, of course,
Yeah, also we can all talk as much shit as we want to, but you got to respect that's a baller move.
So, in a new SEC filing, it is noted that on January 16th, Vince, in his capacity to do so as controlling stockholder of WWE, executed and delivered a written consent, the January 16th consent, taking certain, that's what it's called, the January 16th consent. That's the name of the document that we will remember forever. The January 16th consent. First time consent and Vince McMahon are in the same goddamn,
Oh, yeah.
Taking certain actions by consent without a meeting in accordance with Section 228 of the DGCL, don't know what that means, to substantially repeal the January 5th amendments. So the January 5th amendments are what were put in place when he came back. That he was coming back, but only to control on the business end, to control the sale of the company. He only had control of the business operations. He had no actual control over anything else. This, what happened today, literally repeals what he said on the 5th, meaning that he can kick Triple H out at any point. He can do whatever he wants. He can be in creative control if he wants. And it goes then further to say that it is also noted that no further approval of the stockholders in WWE is required to approve any of Vince McMahon's actions in accordance from the January 16th consent. Basically, Vince McMahon's actions in WWE no longer need any stockholder approval, which they previously did. So we have Vince back in charge. No chance in hell.
Talk about God mode.
Yeah, dog. So that's the legal shit, I guess. Like, oh, and there was another lawsuit filed against Vince, though, today. This one I don't even really understand.
I don't understand it either. The fire department.
So, yeah, okay. So, Jeremy Lambert of Fightful.com posts, saying there's reports, rather, that there's another lawsuit been filed against Vince. So, I'll read a little bit of it. But before we start, because it is so confusing, Detroit's police and fire retirement system, those are the ones who have sued executive chairman Vince McMahon. So think about that. The Detroit's police and fire retirement system. So what that seems to me is that this police and fire retirement system have invested in stock in the WWE. That's the only thing that it can mean based on the rest of it. That's the only reason that they would be suing them.
Yeah.
For this particular reason. They are seeking a declaration that would effectively block McMahon from reigning control of WWE's board of directors and prevent him from expediting a sale. So they don't want a sale. This complaint was filed with the Delaware Courts of Chancery, which that's obvious. Delaware, by the way, is where WWE does their business. That's where they're registered. It's not Connecticut.
Yeah.
Everybody always fucks that one up. It's actually their offices are in Connecticut, but Delaware is where they do business because they're lighter on the they used to be, I think, lighter on the like sports regulatory boards. So that's like another thing. They ask it be recognized as a class action on behalf of other WWE stockholders. So that's what it is. Like I just said, Detroit's Police and Fire Retirement Service, they said other WWE stockholders. So they have WWE stock. So what they are saying, the complaint argues that McMahon has breached fiduciary, can never say this word. It means being good with money. Fiduciary duties.
Fiduciary?
Thank you. Fiduciary duties. I can never say the word. It shows how good I.
All right, we all have one or two of those words, man.
Breach fish. God damn it! Say it again.
What,
I can't say it.
wait,
I
what
can't
was
say
that?
it. I can't say the word.
Fiduciary?
Fiduciary. Fiduciary.
Fiduciary?
It just sounds like douche, and it like trips me up. So you
Fiduciary.
breach fiduciary duties as a controlling stockholder by trying to impose personal will on WWE and its board by purporting to adopt a package of invalid and inequitable bylaw amendments that would hamstring the board from making critical business decisions. So that's interesting. Like, that basically is saying that there are shareholders, and they must have, it doesn't say what other shareholders they're filing this complaint with, but there's at least some shareholders that are like, nah. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you step down. Like, you're not on the board. Like, we're not letting you back in. Like, it's been going great lately. Fuck off. And that's interesting just to see that there's been a lawsuit already the minute it happens that this starts. That they're accusing Vince McMahon of being irresponsible with the shares and the money and the direction of the company by stepping in like this. They're like, no, you're a crazy old motherfucker, and our shares just shot through the roof with this other guy. So you just coming back in like this, you don't get to do that. We're stopping you because we think this keeps going up in share price. So by doing that, you are claiming that
I just don't think they're going to win.
I don't think they're going to win either, but it's interesting to see. Just so everybody knows, like, I try to make that somewhat understandable as much as I do, but this was in this article, and it really is startling when you hear it. McMahon owns approximately 39% of WWE's equity. About 92%, by the way, of outstanding Class B shares, which counts for 10 votes per share as opposed to Class A shares, which counts for 1 vote per share. Therefore, McMahon controls 81% of the WWE's total voting power. 81%. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. There's more shit in here that I don't really understand that's a little more detailed. You can find it yourself, but you get the gist that there are shareholders that think this motherfucker's crazy. They're like, yo, that's going to actually hurt my wallet, and he should not be on the board. Long and short of it, right? So we're literally suing his ass because of that. And again, they won't win. They should, hopefully they're just good. They're good wrestling fans, and they power through. If I were them, I would have sold a long time ago. That's all.
I hope so. Well, I don't know. They probably bought right when it was really high. They're like, oh man, look how much it's gone up now.
Oh yeah, who knows?
Maybe they're angry about that.
Well, let's talk about the WWE on the more, the fun side, I suppose. And it's supposed to be the season where things are getting hot, and we should be really high on all these new programs, and of course fucking Royal Rumble, not this Saturday but the following. And usually, like, we should be buzzing right now, right? Like, we should be buzzing with anticipation of the road to WrestleMania. There's some decent stuff going on, but I contend that this Triple H whole run thing, it's not got me that much more buzzing than I would be any other year. In fact, probably less buzzing than I was last year for the Royal Rumble.
Well, that's also because everyone, quote, knew Cody was coming back.
This is part of it.
Now, that was part of it. Now, which I will say, we can get to it now or later, but I think that was a bad move.
No, we should
because everyone knew he was going to come back. Everyone knew he was going to come back anyway. You didn't need to announce it. just still let the pop happen. Now everyone like I think that now that it's been said in that video package and such that you're so expecting it more like that there just aren't many other little surprises I can see them doing, I
Unless
guess.
they,
And I thought that was even though we knew that was coming again, that was going to be one.
that was it. And we knew it was coming, but they, yes, they probably should have saved it. It's a big bone of contention with a lot of people, but I don't think that was one of those secrets that they could have kept. It might have even been like, I think they get to get their cake and eat it too on this one, because they get to promote Cody Rhodes as returning, and he will still get the pop from all of us when he returns. I think it's that big. I think that he posted number 3 today with eyeballs or something, right? Like he's maybe entering at number 3. But that could mean anything. That's Cody does cryptic dumb shit like that sometimes. I can see him entering first or last. And I think there's stories to be told with either. For some reason, I don't think he enters at 3. They've got to have some
not entering last.
They've got to have some tricks up their sleeve, though, right? Because the Royal Rumble should have some surprises. And it definitely feels like this one was a duh. But I kind of get why they did what they did, because it was such a duh. It makes me think it makes it less obvious that he's going to win. I think it puts doubt in my mind because he's announced that he's going to win. If he comes in unannounced, he's winning the Rumble. If he comes in announced,
yeah, I don't think he's winning, because I don't think
I think now this is a sign that he's not, in my mind. So good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Who do you have as surprises? Do you have any fun ones?
Man, I've been thinking about this, and it's really tough because we're getting Legends Night out of the way.
I think. Well, this is what plays into it, because we definitely have Legends Night coming up, which is a lot on Legends Night. Looks really good for a Raw show. It looks really good. Like there's a lot of stacked show. I gotta say.
God, who? I really don't. I've been thinking, because I also don't think they need to take anybody else on. We don't need any huge surprise. Like, I don't know. I think anyone it's going to be is like an NXT person, like a Braun Breaker or something, who's not going to win. And then we're going to get
Cameron Grimes. Grimes is going to be in the Rumble.
Shane Helms. We're going to get, shit like that.
No, we'll get Grimes. We'll get more NXT dudes, I think. We'll get a Cameron Grimes. We'll get maybe even like Pretty Deadly slip in there, like guys that they're gonna want, like Grayson, like Waller, or one of them, or Duke Hudson, or
Grayson
one of
Waller.
them, like maybe even Tony, like the
we
Mafia
get,
dude.
We get, what's his name?
Angelo, whatever the fuck.
Not Reggie anymore, but
he would be good fodder.
Gyra or whatever the fuck his name is.
It's Scripps. Yeah, Scripps needs to. If Scripps can fix his mask and get something decent going with that, then he'd be a great Rumble like trick spot guy.
Yeah, he could do some good shit.
Yeah, but no, he's not ready. In my opinion, Legends Night with who's on Legend. Let's see who on Legend Night.
Who isn't on Legends Night? Fucking even Taker's coming back, bro.
We got Shawn Michaels. We got, this is the 30th anniversary Raw Triple X. Legends to appear: Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Teddy Long, X-Pac, Kurt Angle, Jerry Lawler, Bella Twins, Road Dogg, and Farouk. X-Pac Sean Waltman can get in that motherfucking ring and do a spot in the Rumble. And I think that people would like that would be
crazy.
That would be a huge pop. I think that's your big nostalgia pop this year. That's your big nostalgia pop.
That'd be a good nostalgia pop. I can't believe they couldn't get Triple H for Legends Night.
Oh, well, he's tied up in legalities with Vince in the back.
Like, fucking weird.
Fuck, fucking weird. Never ends with him, man. Never ends. But I still think, I mean, Matt Cardona, right? Like that's
a big one.
That's a big one.
And what about fucking Orton? I don't know. Is he still injured? He's been out for a long time.
I've been
Riddle come back.
See, Riddle coming back is like an anti-pop to me. Like he needs to be off TV for a bit. Like go get your shit together for a while. Like I'm not popping for that. Orton, like unless they've been totally feeding like bullshit to the media, which is possible they do this, but they've been trying to convince us that Orton is like still out for a while and hurt really bad. I'd love to think at this point that like that is just kayfabe bullshit and he's ready to go and can hop in the Rumble because he's another he's needed. And his last like run or even two have been good. Like his stuff, like he's shown his personality. Like Orton will be a huge face when he returns.
All right. Do you think between the two of us right now we could kind of closely call the 30 entrants in the Rumble back and forth rapid fire?
Oh Jesus. Whew. I mean. So we're starting at the beginning, or we're going like the winner back.
You don't have to do it in any order. I'll count.
Oh God. We're just building our own Royal Rumble. Is that what we're doing?
All we have to do is each do 15 people. We'll go back and forth, and let's see if we can get and I'm gonna. Okay. Should I write them down?
Oh yeah. So and then we'll have a stopwatch, like the tick tock. Yeah. So we're starting at the beginning, and then go into the end.
I'll write down the names, and then when we watch Royal Rumble, we'll see. I'll read the list off after this. Then you and I will just as a friendly bet say like how close we think on a percentage wise we actually got to the 30 people in the Rumble.
All right, I'm trying to find a good. There you go. That's not gonna work. I just need a thing. Oh.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear that?
No, I haven't been able to hear any of it. I haven't been able to hear any of it all night though. So.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I didn't realize that. See, okay. That's interesting. But you can hear my voice.
Yeah.
What is it doing?
When you were doing the intro,
you
I
couldn't
was
hear
pointing at my headphones trying.
Oh well, I didn't pay attention to that. Well, fucking. Oh well, that's stupid. I remember I knocked the thing out or something. Hang on, I'll get that fixed. Just a second. All right. So you got ready? Are you ready for this game? Then
I'm ready. I'm ready. I mean, it's kind of a joint effort because we're putting a roster together. So
yeah. Let me look at this thing though, real quick, because now I'm interested. All right, hang on. I bet you I can fix things for us.
All right.
And yeah. It's hilarious. You've been hearing me through the internal mic in one of my webcams.
Yeah, you've sounded super weird, but I didn't want to stop you.
Fucking A, man. Bet you I can fix it here soon. And we'll edit all this out, the whole show. We'll just edit it all out.
Oh shit, there it is. There it is.
Yeah,
there's your mic.
Fucking God damn it. Yeah, see? It's the increase the tension of the
Yeah.
heartbeat, and then when someone comes out, it's a little bit like
Yes. All right. You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oh shit, we're picking. All right, man. I gotta pull up the roster.
Yeah.
You go first. You go first.
Oh, I guess I'm gonna pull up the roster too.
Yeah, let me pull up the roster. We're just doing
right.
WWE roster here. I should probably bookmark this page at some point.
Me too.
I do go to it a lot. The official.
Which one do you end up on?
Which one?
At WWE or SmackDown Hotel?
I
always end up on SmackDown
Hotel. I usually end up there, and I like it more.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Me too. I like it more too.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do all men.
Yeah, I'm doing all too.
I'm doing all men. If we're going with
all men, let me throw that filter. I gotta get like 20 pop-ups out of the way. Hold on.
Yeah. You guys still gotta fight that. That's the only problem. Like,
Hey, where's the men filter?
It's at the top there. You can.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Right. Man, there's so many to pick from. Okay, so this throws in NXT as well, so that's okay. That's okay, because they'll be in there. They'll be in there. All right, so you want my first pick? My number one. Who's going to go in there as my number one?
Yeah, they don't have it. This doesn't have to be in order.
But... Oh, no, we're doing it in order.
Are we?
Jesus. I mean, no, that'd be too complicated. But I
was like...
My number one, I'll tell you my number one, though, is Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Seth Rollins is in the we don't have to go number, from here on in, but I think Seth Rollins is going to have a lofty, big babyface performance in this Rumble. And I do think that it's him and Cody at the end of the Rumble. I just haven't decided who wins yet.
Yeah. I actually think, I don't know if you saw in my show notes, but we can talk about it later, but I think that Seth at this point should maybe just take it off Roman.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made there. Who are you going with? All right, who are you going with? Who are you putting in there? Who are you putting in?
God, I can't do it in the front in the number one.
No, we don't have to do that. We're
all right.
We're putting people in.
I'm gonna say Baron. Then I'm gonna say Baron Corbin.
Corbin's gonna be in there for sure. Are you separating these into Owen picks and Matthew picks?
Oh yeah, I got two columns on my sheet.
We should see who is who gets the most amount in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So
look at Duke Hudson's picture from NXT. He looks like Adam Sandler.
Let me see here. Where are you, Duke? Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, Duke.
Doesn't he look like Adam Sandler?
A little bit. I can see that.
Yeah.
He might be in there, but he's not my pick. I'm gonna play this game strategically now. Cody Rhodes. I mean, he's already announced, so I gotta pick him. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm gonna go with Cedric Alexander.
All right. Strong chance he would be in the Rumble. Kofi Kingston.
Okay.
Also announced for the Rumble. Just steal it too, by the way.
Are you reading who's announced? I don't know even.
No. I just know those. I just know those were the only two. Those were the only two.
Then we got then I guess I'm gonna go with what's his name? Other one.
Other one? Come on. You can do better than that. My wife does this. That guy that looks,
I'm like Austin. Well, the other fucking not Big E. Not Austin
Bobby
Creed,
Lashley? You're just describing black people.
No, the other guy in
what?
The other guy in the New Day.
Oh. Well, there's Kofi, and then there's Xavier, and then there's
Xavier.
Big E. Yeah. I mean, Big E. That would be great if Big E did come back. By the way, that would be huge. That would be huge. I'm gonna go Braun Breaker.
All right. I'm gonna go Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that's probably a thing that happens. I'm gonna go Cameron Grimes.
All right. I'm gonna say Finn Balor.
That's probably a good bet. Gonna go Butch.
Butch. All right.
Yeah, he's gonna be in there.
I'm gonna go Bronson Reed.
Yeah, he'll probably be in there. I think they'll be in a tag match, so I'm not going with him. Oh, dude, we're forgetting. I wish. All right, just put down for both my next picks. The Good Brothers.
Okay.
Luke and Carl, baby. Like, they're gonna be in there. Like, come on. Like, they're prime Rumble material.
Yeah.
Like, they're not doing anything. Carl,
Yeah.
it's lazy Good Brother shit. Like, that's yeah, they're just gonna.
That's true. That's it. That's their bag, baby.
That's their bag. Like,
That's
they're
their
definitely,
bag.
yeah, that's what they live for. So they're in there.
I'm gonna go Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, Ziggles is in the Rumble. Of course he is. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll do some stupid rope shit that no one will care about.
Hold on, I got one more.
Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, because I
did
do too. That was rude of me.
No, you had to, because I would have done the other.
Yeah,
so I get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Madcap Moss.
That's a solid Rumble participant. That's a solid Rumble. Yeah, man. Okay, so can we do, when we're done with them? Can we both have like one more, like, it's our, I want to call it a mulligan, like a guy that's like our, like, oh shit, like he has to be on the roster, like we're doing, right? He has to be on the roster, but maybe a guy back, maybe, just our oh whoa guy, right? I don't know.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm saying, how many?
I'm already telling you mine's.
How many I have left? How many do I have left?
You have 6 left.
6 left. All right.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay. I'm trying to I don't think he's got a place on the card yet. What is he doing? Santos Escobar.
Okay.
He feels like he believably is getting a push, and that's always nice in the Rumble because he might win it, like you're like, oh, like, yeah. That's why I go him.
All right. I'm gonna say they're gonna think this is gonna be a bigger pop than it's going to be. Gable Stevenson.
That's a really good guess. That's, yeah, and I don't think it's, that dude's not gonna work, man.
No, he's not gonna work at all.
I don't want to even get into, like, there might be some salacious, horrible allegations against him, but even without any of that, no charisma.
No charisma, man.
Charisma.
He ain't got it.
He ain't got the goods.
He ain't got the goods. WrestleMania or day after WrestleMania thing, it was not good. He has no charisma.
I said Grimes before, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I got, all right, good. As long as I got Grimes on there, that's important. Okay. Got the Good Brothers, that's important. I like how Nick Khan and Sam Roberts are in the same lineup as all these people. Like,
right?
Yeah. I feel like Von Wagner's gonna be in it too. Like, he seems like NXT, like, oh, we're gonna give you a tryout here in the Rumble, but
yeah.
I'm not.
Is that your call?
No, I'm not decided yet. I'm not decided. Yeah, I'm going with him. I'm going with Von Wagner.
All right. I'm gonna go Omos.
He's a Rumble dude. Yep, that makes sense. Yep,
it's total Rumble guy.
Yeah. Tozawa. He's in the Rumble. For sure he's in the Rumble.
Yeah. He wrestled Bronson Reed last night. I'm going to go with Sheamus.
Oh, wow. You're putting Sheamus in. Yeah, I mean,
For right now,
him and Drew, I mean, unless they get in, I guess him and Drew are going to be doing a tag team thing now.
Oh, shit, you're right.
But I don't know.
Change?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay. Good call. That's a very good call. I'm going to go Mustafa Ali.
Yep. Also good call. We got 2 left or 1 each?
3 left each.
3 each. Okay. Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode.
Yeah. Our Rumble is strong, by the way. Like, we've not gone because we're just doing a Rumble based on the roster without any like nostalgia acts, celebrity acts. No. We have done the most no nonsense Rumble of all time.
Yeah.
Like, this seems like it would be a fucking hell of a match.
I'm gonna go Ricochet.
Yeah. I mean, unless he's in a I mean, I feel like they're building him in the program too, but okay. Top Dollar's in the Rumble.
Nice.
100% he's in the Rumble.
He definitely is. I'm gonna go with
and
Roderick Strong.
He was on my short list.
I mean, yeah.
But I don't think he's in there personally. I think he's kind of like on the out. Like, yeah, I don't know. So I got 1 left and then the Mulligan random.
Yep.
Okay. I said Grayson Waller, right?
You did not.
Grayson Waller is going in the Rumble. He's a Rumble guy. He's a Rumble dude.
All right.
Yeah, he's not gonna win it, but he's a Rumble guy. Yeah, Grayson Waller. And then I still got my Mulligan that is gonna be on. It has to be on this page.
Yep.
But I will be, that hasn't been picked and all that,
Ciampa.
Ooh. And now you've got your Mulligan too, right?
Yep.
Both got a Mulligan. Ciampa's good. I just hope he's healthy enough for that.
I know. I'm not sure if he is.
Okay, so that actually goes to my pick and segues perfectly because this guy would be perfect for the Rumble, a perfect return for him. Doesn't have to win it. Has been training hard to get back in action. Rick motherfucking Boogs.
All right.
Bring me back the Boogs. I need my Boogs.
All right.
I need my shredding. I need my Boogs. I've missed Boogs. I've missed Boogs. I've always been a Boogenheimer man.
Boogsman?
Yeah,
Boogsman?
I've been a Boogsman. I like Boogs. You leave me alone with my Boogs. I like my Boogs. He's great. Who's your guy that's your Mulligan that's on this roster? Oh, dude. Montez would be great, but he's probably going to be in a match.
I know. I'm kind of left looking at people who I think wouldn't be in a
All
match.
right, all right.
I mean, I'll tell you.
Logan Paul. I mean, that would be great, but I think they
I
would
know.
advertise him if he was in it. You're gonna
I
have to
think
pick.
so too.
Okay, so you're gonna have to, in my opinion, I'm giving you some advice here. Like I know we're competing here, but I'm gonna give you some advice. You're gonna have to
We're
go.
competing, but we're also on the same team.
Yeah. I feel like a good bet would be either member of Imperium or either member of the male models, Mansoor or Mace. Like, because I feel like
Yeah.
both Imperium, like they're left out, and that we left those guys out. So that's one of those four is definitely in that match. I just can't.
I
pick
don't
which
know.
one.
I'm sticking to. I have 3 other people in
Oh,
mind.
shit.
One of them could. The other 2, one I don't want to happen. The other one, I'm about that shit all day, every day.
What you doing?
So
bro?
first, which one do you want first? The one that I want to
top to
marry,
bottom.
the one I want to fuck, or the one I want to kill?
Let's go kill
Goldberg.
Oh shit! All right. Is he on this list? Is he on here? Does he? Can he? Is he?
Oh yeah, he's on there.
He's on there. Oh wow. Okay. Sure is. Active roster, technically, I guess.
All right, you ready for the next 2?
Yeah. Okay.
Karrion Kross.
Oh, what are you doing with him though?
I know exactly. He's a Rumble guy.
He's a Rumble guy.
That's what you're doing with him.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing with him.
Yeah, and that's who you're going with because that's a smart. That's probably a smart guess.
Well, my other one, which is what I want.
He's a realistic. He's a realistic Final Four guy though too. So it
I know, and I am gonna go with him, but my real number 1 pick, always and every day in my heart, is Jinder Mahal.
Also, though, I mean, he's been back on the scene lately down there in NXT. Like
I know.
Don't hinder the Jinder.
Don't, dude. I'm trying to get Jinder to win the Rumble.
Back in action, yeah.
Back in action. All right, so I'm gonna give a quick rundown one more time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go your 15 and then my 15.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see what I got.
All right, so yours: Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Kofi Kingston, Braun Breaker, Cameron Grimes, Butch, Luke Anderson, Carl Anderson, Santos Escobar, Von Wagner, Tozawa, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, Top Dollar, Grayson Waller, and Rick Boogs.
That's a strong lineup, man. That's a
very strong lineup, dude. Mine's less strong. It's a little all over the place, but I still think some of them are feasible. All right. Baron Corbin, Cedric Alexander, Xavier Woods, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Bronson Reed, Dolph Ziggler, Madcap Moss, Gable Stevenson, Omos, Sheamus, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Roderick Strong, Ciampa, and then Karrion Kross.
Oh, I'm gonna win this. I think if it's who gets more in the Rumble, then I think I win this. I think I get more people in the Rumble than you, man.
All right.
I got 2 right off the bat, so you can cross those off the list.
What, Cody and Seth?
Cody and Kofi, they announced.
Wow.
Like, those are already in. Unless they don't make it, though. What happens, right? Like, you can't cross them off yet. It's wrestling. Kofi might get attacked, before it happens.
You never know. We got a week.
You never fucking know. Let's talk about the rest of this Raw Triple X preview. Raw 30 years.
Raw 30.
Didn't they do? It felt like yesterday they did like.
Didn't we just do 25?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, because it really did seem like yesterday.
It really does feel like yesterday.
I'm not alone there in that one.
It was a big deal. They went back to that other smaller. They ran 2 shows. Remember?
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna do anything special for this. Like they've been throwing around like the graphic and stuff, like the kind of Raw is War old school graphic. It would be cool if they did some set dressing. Like, I know it's gonna still be WWE and like the modern thing. They're not gonna go back to the
Yeah.
like, but just give us like the taste of the nostalgia. Like, throw an ICO Pro thing on those banners that just like wrap around the venue. Like do that. Like
Yeah.
and we'll be happy. Like
Right.
little shit like that. It looks like a great card though. Like we mentioned the legends earlier. I still think I didn't call him in this because he's not an active roster member. I do think X-Pac can be in the goddamn Rumble. I still think that definitely happens. I I I think that's because of the fact that he's appearing on the Raw before, and like it's all related, right? Like,
Yeah.
man, I wouldn't even be terribly surprised if Shawn stepped in the ring. Like, it wouldn't even, like,
Really,
for
you
a
think
nostalgia
after that
spot.
last?
I don't really think he blew it with that, so who cares? Like, why not? Like, have.
I don't think he wants to live through it again.
But the rest of the Raw preview does look cool. A Roman Reigns acknowledgement ceremony featuring every generation of the bloodline.
Does that include The Rock?
Well, that's what everybody's asking. I don't know. Maybe it's. I mean, they've certainly worded it a way that I would interpret that The Rock is not going to be there at this acknowledgement
But he's gonna
ceremony.
send a video message.
Yeah, there could be that, setting something up. But then again, why would you do that now before the Rumble? That seems like it would be better served after the feud with KO after the Rumble to build to WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, it seems like you would leave The Rock out of it now, do this whole thing, and then The Rock could be like, I didn't acknowledge you.
Maybe that's what it is. But then who do they get? I get, the head shrinkers. Rikishi.
What's the other dude? Starts with an S.
I'm sure there's way more that I don't even know.
He's confirmed, actually.
I know Solo. Like, well,
no.
Someone was asking the if Nia Jax would be there, and I was like, I mean, there is. No, I don't think she'll be there.
Yeah,
because they didn't.
Samu, that was it. Samu and Fatu.
Oh, Samu and Fatu. Yeah, well, that's the that's the head shrinkers. But I don't think there'll be any
Wild Samoans.
Yeah, Wild Samoans. That's who I'm thinking of. Okay. I'm mixing things up.
Sika?
I'm mixing. Yeah. Well, that's the granddads, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, I think that's all you would have right now, right? Along with Jimmy and Jay and Solo and
yeah, because Yoko died, who was part of the head shrinkers with Rikishi, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it would be You're gonna have. I would assume that means Rikishi's gonna be there. He's gonna be the biggest name for most people.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
And then okay, so and then you've got Sika and who is it? Are they still alive? Yeah, because they showed up not too long ago, right? They popped up. I forget when that was. They popped up somewhere. So yeah, bring them back in. Those old bastards. Bring Rikishi in. I don't think you get Nia Jax because, another match announced for the evening was Bayley and Becky in a steel cage. And in the build to that match, you also had them, like Bayley basically saying to Becky, the only reason you fucking got over was the fact that some woman punched you in the face and you bled. So they wouldn't even use her name. So that leads me to believe that she will not be on TV. She also seems like a bit of a problem.
She does seem like a bit of a problem.
Usos versus Judgment Day, though, on the same show. Are you in the belief that I am that
They should drop the titles?
I think it might be happening. I'm just skeptical that it happens on a Raw.
On a Raw and not at the Rumble?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think something happens in this match so that they set it up for a rematch at the Rumble?
I do, because there's Sammy and there's Sikoa and like there's too much going on.
There's going to be fuckery, and they're going to redo it at
and they're going to
Rumble,
redo it at the Rumble.
That's where they're going to get one of the titles. And they're probably going to say that they're going to give them the title for the roster that they are on.
And that's why I didn't put anyone from the Judgment Day in the Rumble.
I know. I put Finn.
You put Finn in, but Finn's not, like, if you're going to pick any of the three, that was the one to put in there, you know? Like,
yeah,
because the tag team is seems like it's logically more Priest and Dominic than it is Finn,
who gave himself a new nickname, Ex-Con Dom.
Oh well, he rules. Like, that's just best
I
part.
Still like Prison Dom better.
Prison Dom is better, but you know, like, it works. It works. So no, I think that does stretch out until Rumble. I think they can absolutely do that, and I think they'll have because that whole rivalry is so fresh and new too. Like, you need time to, like, at least give us like a week of Judgment Day and Bloodline stuff before we get to why that matters. So it seems too soon for, you know, the Judgment Day to take it on the Raw 30 thing. Do you see Vince coming back on this one, like on TV? I do.
No.
I mean, it would make sense for him to hide more, but
yeah. I mean, maybe to get his rocks off just to prove he can do it.
It's Vince, right? It's Vince.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can see it. I can see it happening. I'm not super stoked on another Lashley Theory match. Like, that seems like that whole program has come to a grinding halt and gone nowhere.
I fucking put this in my notes. I am tired of every week turning on Raw and watching shit the same people for the US title every fucking Monday.
Yeah, it's awful.
It is boring and it's bullshit. And that's another reason they need to split up these titles and get another Universal and or World title on the Raw brand, because all they're doing, to an extent, you could argue that they've elevated the US title, but there's nothing else. Last night, I was like in and out of Raw in the background doing shit, you know, stuff. But when it came to the main event, I was like, oh, I wonder what the main event's. And so I watched. I'm like, oh shit, Seth Rollins. I'm like, oh, and Finn. I was like, I'll fucking watch Finn Balor and fucking Seth Rollins. Then it's everyone else who's been part of this fucking thing.
It's
Bobby
been the
Lashley,
same.
Fucking Austin Theory, fucking Baron Corbin. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, I'm just bored with all of you wrestling each other now without anything else at stake other than this.
It's the same thing over and over again, and this will literally have been like the fourth or fifth time we're getting like Lashley.
It's so,
you know,
fucking
Theory.
I don't give a fuck.
And it doesn't. No one cares anymore. In the beginning, this whole idea of building like the U.S. titles prestige and the IC titles prestige was great, and they did it for a little while with Bobby Lashley with that title. But you know what they did? They fucking hot potatoed that belt straight away, which blew it off the bat. On the other side, with the IC title, you've had Gunther. And Gunther has absolutely raised prestige with the IC title. That thing means fucking something now. Again, which has always been a more prestigious title if you're a WWF fan or WWE fan. The IC title has always carried more weight, in my opinion, than the US title. So I'm super happy to see that Gunther has taken it and hopefully will continue to take it on this run. It seems like he's being recognized as greatness right now. The same thing is not happening on the other side with the US. And it's just hot potato with the same 6 dudes. And I guess this is just going to be Theory's belt until Mania, where it's him and John Cena. And John Cena beats fucking Austin Theory for the goddamn US title. And you know what? We'll all be fine with it. Because
And Vince
Cena
is going to come in his pants watching both of them wrestle each other.
Exactly. And you know what? Theory, let's just hope Theory can come out as something more interesting at the end of all of this as a project. That's it. Because
I hope so.
Either that or you put it back on Lashley and just let him fucking roll with it for a while like they should have done. Like they kind of did, but they didn't.
I'm even bored with that now.
I am
so
too.
over it. I'm so fucking over it. It means they elevated it to make it mean because they had to, and it made it mean
if
nothing.
You reinvent the Hurt Business around Lashley and you make it fucking cool and do something with it, I think there's something still there. But you gotta reinvent with somebody. We've thrown this title on Riddle. No one cared. Like, this title doesn't mean anything. And the way that they program it doesn't mean anything. So whoever it is, there's got to be someone. At this point, what you do, I don't know what you do for this title to make it mean something and make it interesting is you have to put it on a lower mid-carder. You have to put it on someone lower. This sounds crazy to a lot of people.
And let them scrap it out and fight people.
And build a person around it. It's an NXT guy. This US title.
Kind of what they tried to do with Liv, and she didn't do a very good job at scrapping and being able to make everyone believe in that reign.
Throw the US title. Throw the US title on Cameron Grimes. Someone with mic skills and more of a character than a wrestler even. Like, throw him on somebody who is your MJF even. Throw it on, like, who is that guy that's got the personality? Put it on Montez fucking Ford. Put it on somebody that can carry a belt with stature and grace and dance with it and be entertaining. Because the belt has no prestige. So if you're not going to have any prestige with the belt, you got to make the fucking belt entertaining. And that needs to be an open challenge entertainment factor. You need to be cutting good promos every single week. Whatever title that is, I can bump this fucking belt, but it's got to have the right guy behind it. Montez Ford, it ain't Dolph Ziggler, it ain't Bobby Roode. You know, I can name who it isn't probably a lot easier than who it is.
Yeah.
And most people could. But it ain't Bobby Lashley anymore. It ain't Matt Riddle anymore. Fuck.
It's not Seth Rollins anymore.
It's not Seth Rollins. It's not. It's certainly not Austin Theory because it's boring as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who is it?
And it's been the same. I don't know.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at WWE, by the way. I'm yelling at the world in WWE. I'm not yelling at you.
Yeah,
I'm
like, Jesus, I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. But who is it, though?
Jesus,
I mean, there's got to be. Solo fucking Sikoa would actually work with that belt.
Yeah, Solo Sikoa, but they can't bring any more gold in there.
It's the wrong timing. If that would have happened like a few months back when he kind of first joined.
A long time ago, that would have been fucking
that would have
great.
been cool, but now you can't do it now. It seems like they're on the decline.
So who is it now?
Oh, well, now we're back looking at the roster, right? So it's Austin
I'm
Theory.
going back to the roster.
I mean, who would be interesting with that belt? And that's the key thing. I keep going back to, Montez Ford or Angelo Dawkins would be cool. Santos Escobar could probably do some good work with it.
Elias.
Cameron Grimes could do it. Elias could do it. Butch could do it.
Yeah.
They're going to put it on Bronson Reed. That's what they'll do. And I think that'll be just as boring. Rick Boogs could do it. Rick Boogs could do it. Seriously.
Yeah, he could.
Mansoor could do it. Ali could do it. I mean, those are decent names that could absolutely do it.
Yeah.
LA Knight.
LA Knight. Okay. Now you're talking.
LA Knight could fucking do it. He's on the wrong brand. He's on the wrong brand.
Yeah, we got a draft coming up.
Yeah. But no, he could do it. He would be a great US champion. That's who, all right. That's who we go with there. That's 100% who I go with.
Yeah, I'm for that. All right.
He fucking rules. I love that dude.
It has been. Or are you the Vince McMahon of Ono Wrestling? Do you have 81% voting rights?
Oh, yeah. And hear me out here too. Logan Paul can do it.
I know. I almost said that, and I was like, as much as I fucking hate the Paul brothers, he could do it.
He could do it. Like that's the way you put a belt on him and keep it reputable. Keep him because he's good. Keep him in the spotlight.
Also, keep him humble. Keep him on USA. Don't keep him on Fox. Keep him humble.
You know who can't do it? Karrion fucking Kross, because he fucking sucks and no one likes him. No one fucking likes him.
No one likes him.
He
it's
sucks.
Fucking stupid.
He sucks.
So stupid.
He's so stupid. He's dumb with his new hair, and no one likes him.
All
and they're all
it's
like,
all been dumb for a long time, and every iteration is just dumber.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not really good in the ring. He doesn't, for someone that should be so scary, he's not that scary. Does that make sense?
So I think what happens is, all right. So I just figured this out in my brain 2 seconds ago, so it could be wrong, and I'm willing to be wrong. But so a lot of the times, what if when we think that all these people from NXT are going to be amazing on the main roster, and we've been as fans, and I'll say this because I believe it to be somewhat collectively let down somewhat by a lot of the people who have come up from NXT to the main roster. Not all of them.
I think there's stories that a 60-40, right? It's like okay, or maybe even a 50-50, honestly. It's not like not all of them are bad, not all of them are good. But I think it's like it's not as like the ratio isn't as bad as most people make it out to be. There's a lot more better than most,
I don't know. I need to look at the statistics to agree
Me too.
with that.
Me too. I might have put my foot in my mouth.
But I will say, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong either because I don't know. So I can't say one way or the other. So in your spirit, let's say 50-50.
Sure.
Okay. So let's say that. But I think that maybe the issue now that I just realized is we see these wrestlers at a smaller scale, right? With wrestlers who are not as good. So the ones who stand out are going to stand out more than their peers who are not as good. So you're going to go through so many peers, right? And you're going to get those few that stand out. They solidify this smaller thing because they're that good in that smaller thing. Then you bring them up. It's the big fish, small pond, pond, big fish. Small.
Big fish, small pond, and then to small,
big
fish, bigger pond.
Dyslexia. Yeah, there you go. So, but that type of thing. So, do you think some of that has to do with the way that we as fans then perceive that, and then look at it when they come to the main roster because we expect them to be so much, but they're great when they're dealing with all of that talent, but when they get up here, maybe they just. And let's say their booking is good. Let's say their character is good, right? Because there are all these factors that go into it.
I'll tell you.
But it's an interesting thing.
Well, no, I'll tell you. I don't think what you're talking about is on the wrestlers themselves. I think it's on the brand.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it is.
It's on the brand.
It's from the fans.
It's on the brand. If NXT was treated in more reverence, if it had more prestige, if it was a bigger deal then those guys coming over would collectively, all of them feel bigger. it does not feel like a big deal anymore.
But
It
you would
feels
need
like a
something
joke.
smaller than NXT then. Because you always have to have the step up. It's
Sure,
like
but
if you were
that's
to have
that's
if you were to have the
untelevised for.
AAA team
But they do.
Yankees and
But they
the
do.
Yankees, it's the same. It doesn't work.
But they do. They have like the level up thing. They have like the performance center into NXT, right? So untelevised matches, like I get what you're saying, but I'm saying from like the public's perception, if the brand of NXT was a putting on a better product, then when they got called up to the main roster, it would feel like a bigger deal. At the time that Karrion Kross was pulled up, we were in the pandemic. NXT did not feel like a big deal at all, right?
Yeah.
Think about when like KO came in. Think about when some of these other big people came up from NXT. NXT was hot as shit. It was before AEW. It was a killer product. That doesn't exist anymore. It's gone into the NXT 2.0 phase and now into whatever they're calling it. I think they're calling it white and gold. But the idea is that the product isn't very good. So therefore, why are we trusting anybody coming up from this product? That's why they pulled Cameron Grimes, because they knew he's got a fan. They know he's got a fan base, and they're sitting on him until the Royal Rumble, in my opinion, to introduce him to the world, who will remember the old Cameron Grimes, so as to not taint him with the bad taste of more 2.0 and this new generation of Grayson Wallers. And now, see, even those guys have progressed from that. Those guys are like the upper echelon. Now we've got like Zolrukas and fucking like all sorts of weird. We've got scripts in there, for God's sakes. Look at that mask. Change it, please. Please change that mask.
Who cleared that?
Like, but this is NXT's become a joke. So when NXT has become a joke, you can't take any serious, like, guy serious coming up. So that's the
fair
problem.
Argument, man. It's fair argument.
Is if you have to reinforce the brand first before you can reinforce the wrestler. And when WWE has long ago got into the business of not making stars, the last stars were The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and probably Batista. After all that, and they went to Hollywood, and John Cena, right? They made all their money. WWE was like, no, we are not promoting independent or not any of you singularity, like as the bare bones, the backbone of our product. We have to market us as the company rather than you, Stone Cold, or you, The Rock, or you, like, what have you. So that doesn't exist anymore. So when you're telling us that, and we have to worship the WWE, and then you put on a product like NXT and what the fuck it is, and then, try and sell the same message and image, well, then you're not selling NXT to us. You've done two different things. You're two different business strategies. That's why it's not working. You have to have NXT be a stronger brand, or you have to have basically go back to the roots of what the Attitude Era was, is building your own stars outside of the WWE. Hence Sasha Banks. The money they could have made with her at being on The Mandalorian that they threw away because she was quote unquote difficult to work with, or whatever the deal was. They should have thrown her all the money in the goddamn
those
world.
numbers and it came out in the positive on the WWE side.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it, because they're not taking into account what that can generate them in the future of a massive star. So it's
we'll see how her career plays out.
But I think that they need to be doing more of that. If they were there's gonna be more of this that's happening in the future. People betting on themselves, going into Hollywood, going into other forms of entertainment, and it will only benefit the WWE to let them do that. My point is, don't solely rely on the brand to sell the everything. You've got to have your spokesperson for the brand, if you will. And when NXT doesn't have that, how do you trust Duke fucking Hudson to come into the show and be reputable, right? How do you trust Grayson Waller to fucking have any fucking voice on a main roster? You can't. It's a joke. I'm not saying that there's not talented dudes there, but when literally the whole brand is a laughing stock, it's hard to picture them in anything serious on the again. Not like when KO came
but I also
up.
think you went way off from what I was saying.
Oh, sorry.
Which is that
I do that
when you're, yeah,
I'm
and I
also
agree
high.
with what you're saying. I'm not, and I appreciate it, but I'm just saying it. It kind of went a little bit away from where I
My
started.
bad. What did I say? What did I say? What did you say? What was the original question?
I mean, there was no question, but I agree with what you said. I was saying that I think that you need to put some sort of weight on the fact that, I don't know, I guess how the brand is. And then like when you only have this level of star and this is the level and this is like your top tier of people, like the people coming in underneath that, it's like a fishing net, right? Like these fish got through because they're, you know, a little bit, or maybe they're stuck in here, they're going to get taken up. But these other ones fell back because there were so many of them, but they just couldn't,
All
I don't
fit
know,
in the
they
net?
weren't, yeah, so they're not wrestling the same talent. They're not building their skills against the same talent. So then when they get brought up, there's more talent there and their skills aren't as fully developed. So us as fans saw them as something bigger than they maybe were because the talent that they were dealing with wasn't the same caliber of talent.
Give me an example.
I'm just saying, like someone from NXT that we're like we were talking about Karrion Kross, which is where that's made like everyone was like, "Oh, Karrion Kross, Karrion Kross."
I think that's where it started. Yeah. Okay. So that was the example.
And then it comes up, and yes, they fuck things up with his fucking helmet and putting that on him and all that other shit. But like beyond that, I actually don't know if he fit in on the main roster. He sure enough had outgrown NXT, maybe, but he didn't fit in on the main roster. And and I'm saying that because his skills were maybe the top tier of NXT in a certain way, however you filtered it, but like it didn't equate to the main roster. So like we've seen, and I was saying that we've seen that with wrestlers, and I appreciate what you said because you made a very good point about like KO and fucking like even like Alexa Bliss and fucking, you know, Bailey and like all of that. That was a different time. So you made a point taken. I agree with that. But I am saying that now I think wrestling fans are so keen to, and not casual wrestling fans, but wrestling fans are so keen to be like, that's the next person. We need to get them here. And I've said this before about AEW and people going to AEW. I've said it before about people going from AEW back to WWE. Everyone thinks as a fan, like they're just going to be better when they get there. And at what point do we just have to realize
that
they're
person's
okay
not that
for
good.
where they are, but they're not that, they're never going to be.
Karrion Kross is that
we
guy.
As fans,
Karrion Kross is that guy, 100%. I think there's enough chances. I'm willing to let it grow with him and to see if he can do something. Like, I think that there is.
And I don't hate the guy.
I think most of it, honestly, is just character stuff. I'll tell you.
So stiff and like brooding, and I don't know.
What he needs to do is play into. He's a good looking dude, right? And he's got a really fucking hot chick. And he takes these really cool, but he likes smoking cigars. If you've seen his Instagram or his Twitter, he takes all these really fucking cool pictures of him, like sort of debonair in this suit and like kind of mob bossy, if you will. That's what he needs to do. He needs to start playing into that type of role rather than this just like, I'm a psycho. Like that's all I get from him is I'm a psycho. I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't know what Why
Like
are
what?
you
Who?
like? I
What?
just don't
Yeah,
get it.
yeah. There's no. Yeah,
Why am I buying into this?
bad character writing. It's
I know.
shit. It's
Sorry, we both just went on a little diatribe there, but
no. Yeah, absolutely. We'll wrap this up because there's. I mean, we could talk for hours, of course, but yeah, like we've also said to the counterpoint. We've been this way. We were this way with Athena in AEW Ring of Honor, and then all of a sudden, the perfect things like it clicks, and then you're
I
like,
know,
oh shit,
but it clicked, but they have yet to follow up.
they have. I think they will. I think
They
Athena.
better do it fucking quick.
You aren't wrong. You aren't wrong in that. I'm
It's that
sure I
same.
could.
You said it earlier. Strike while the iron is hot.
Mhm.
You have to strike while the iron is hot.
You
People
do.
forget.
It is wrestling. It is wrestling, and you absolutely need to do that. It's very quickly. I only get a chance to listen to about the first like 20 minutes or so of the Osprey Renee podcast. Um, and I know, uh, like a lot of people do have a lot of opinions on Will Osprey. I think he's fixing it. This motherfucker's he's turning face on us. And he's doing a really good
And I
job
think
of
he
it.
knows he's doing it.
And he was actually have you heard the show? Or did you hear that
No,
show?
so I haven't heard it, but I did. I've read a few articles, so I've read some of the
Yeah,
transcripts.
I was able to just quickly I read some transcripts and stuff, but I was able to quickly hear it. And boy oh boy does he sound genuine. And like it's wrestling,
I can't wait to listen. It's like
yeah. First off, Renee's like a goddamn Canadian treasure. She's a national treasure for us. I
hey,
want to claim her, but
aren't we all us
yeah,
Canadians?
yeah,
We're all
you
fucking
are.
Canadian treasures. You guys say this about a lot of us.
But she's fucking great, and eh, and yeah, he's really open. He's really candid from the little bits I've heard and I've of course read, and just being so open too about like being on the spectrum, like having ADHD, having like all these like thoughts, like going into the match with, I believe, Okada for a silent crowd. And he talks about how Great Khan's behind him massaging his shoulders as he's about to go out. He's like, how do you feel? You feel all right? He's like, I literally feel nothing. Like that's such a, I know it's in his kind of, well, it's in his pre-match promo and stuff, that press conference with Kenny, and how he talks about like the sacrifices he's made with Japan and all this sort of thing, and not being recognized and sitting in these quarantines while bruv, and all that's very real when like you think about it in a real context. Like this guy lives for pro wrestling, and he's not getting any of that like rush or enjoyment out of it with these little clap fans.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm trying to do the best work of my life. No one's watching, because he's like, I don't blame anybody. I wouldn't want to watch clap fan wrestling on TV, like, but no one's watching. I'm doing the best shit of my fucking life over here. And
Yeah.
during the pandemic, and I'm sitting in a closet to wait to do it. Fascinating stuff, and really quite endearing to a guy who has been very unendearing in the past to a lot of people. Just
Which is why Omega eventually puts him over.
it has to happen.
It has to.
It
That's
has
the story. That's the story.
Very, think about this. He threw out there like, potential people he wants to face. I mean, Miro's on that list. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah,
Danielson.
I mean, that's not too crazy. I mean, that just makes sense. But a couple others.
I can't remember.
No, but either way, like
I know those two were on there.
Yeah, they definitely were. And I've always liked Will.
Oh, Jungle Boy, that was
Oh
one.
yeah, that was the one. Yes. I think they would probably weirdly have the best match of the three. Like
They'd probably have a great match.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He Will's got it like in his head that he's probably gonna stick with Japan, but his contract's up. That's interesting too.
I know, but that's what he's teasing because he's been saying that.
Yeah,
But I don't know, because then you have this interview and you hear that.
you do. You hear some stuff where he's like,
And he kind of tested the waters earlier, last year.
I only gotta work 1 day a week here, and that's what he would be doing with AEW.
Yeah.
Like could be, and
Also, I could do this and probably still have a deal where I go back and do some
to
dates
New
in Japan.
Yeah, I mean Renee even said it right. Like, well, it's good that two
Yeah.
companies have a relationship, all that. It's certainly food for thought.
I'm looking forward to listening to it.
He wants. It seems like that he wants to have. That he is very aware that he has not penetrated the U.S. market yet, and that's realistically the last place he has to go. It's the hardest, but
yeah, he's also said he's not sure he wants to do it in the past,
sure.
which maybe could be a work. I don't know.
Kenny said the same thing, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's it's the
follow in their footsteps.
I just feel like we're gonna get we haven't had the final form of Osprey yet, which is scary, and just get ready for a lot of
bruvs,
cunts and bruvs,
cunts and bruvs, cunts and bruvs.
Yeah, bruv.
I talked to a dude the other day, and he said bruv to me. Call me bruv, and he was actually British, and he called me bruv. And I was kind of endeared, and I wanted to point out, like, oh shit, you said bruv, but I didn't.
Last thing we're gonna mention. I know we're running late. It's a long one. Probably gonna have to split this up into two. But guesses for this year's Hall of Fame inductees. The Rock going in.
Man,
You think Vince goes in? I don't think he ever goes in. I don't think he ever does.
I know he's gonna go in.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does until he dies.
Yeah, The Rock, if he does a match. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, but you would kind of know. Well, I guess we would know before anyway. They do it the night before.
Umaga is the big one for me, because I feel like this is a nice way bloodline wise to put him in.
Yeah. I like that. Who else? I don't know. I really don't know. Who's the celebrity?
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Who is the celebrity?
I know. I'm just saying.
You're proposing.
Yeah.
I've heard before. I don't know if this is true, but I don't think Andy Kaufman has ever been entered. You could do a post, like posthumously, like, because it's L.A., it's Hollywood. Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
You could do something like that. But then, The Rock ticks that box too, L.A., Hollywood.
Yeah, The Rock does tick that box, yeah.
So I don't know.
If you're going to do it, this is the time to do The Rock, like the biggest paid actor.
Feels like it.
One of the largest, yeah.
I heard Lex Luger being bantered around.
Oh, okay.
I guess him and Vince, of course, had some beef back in the day, and he's not in there. It feels like Lex should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Sid Vicious. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious.
What about Regal with him coming back?
Yeah, I heard that too, but I think the problem with Regal is that he's not allowed on TV or something, right? until
Oh yeah,
the
that's a good point.
next year. But Tony Khan would be like, okay, you can go on the Hall of, you know
He's
what
like,
I
listen,
mean?
can I film him wrestling a invisible person in the arena before anyone gets there?
Yeah. Can I film all yeah, exactly.
That's all I need.
It's all
That's
I
all I
need.
need.
If you don't
I just
understand,
want the WrestleMania logos in the background.
explain this to the people real quick. What we're talking about, our reference.
If you have not listened to last
Week's
week's
show.
episode, yeah, which I don't know if you edited it out or not,
I
but
didn't.
we were talking about the possibility that Tony Khan records his own quote unquote boner jams, and those boner jams are him filming wrestlers wrestling invisible people the same way that Kenny Omega did at one point, but he films them on his VHS camera.
Oh yeah. All around
And
it,
he's not
open arenas. He does
open arenas before and after, and he promises them that maybe they might get on dark. And he's also not jacking off, but he's kind of maybe touching himself.
He touches the
a little bit every
outside
now
of
and
his
then.
pants, like just a tad. Like he just you
Yeah.
know, accidentally gives it a rub every once in a while.
Yeah.
And weirdly,
It's weird.
I don't know how he does it, but he gets the invisible guy to blade. Like every time. It's nuts.
He gets him to blade almost every time.
Every
time.
time.
Almost every time. Crazy.
Damn it, Matthew. We've done too long of a show once again. But hey,
Yep.
it was pretty good. I
Covered a lot
enjoyed
of ground.
We did. Man, we talked about oh, that's not the one. I didn't want that one. There we go. This was good. We'll leave you with this. I like changing up the music every once in a while. It's fine. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a fun episode. We did a long show. We covered, everything from all the lawsuits, the legalities, Matthew. We covered like all of AEW. We didn't touch Impact. There was Impact stuff. Did you know Frankie Kazarian, he signed with Impact Wrestling?
Yeah, he requested.
Oh my God, 45 years old. Look at the old Impact signing Frankie. They got him in there. Fucking Santino Morella's in there too as the new director. Nice. All right, it's a good title, Director of Authority. And
I love that.
I do like that one. And that being said, it is time for the Ono Wrestling Podcast to sign off for episode 183. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Ono Wrestling, just type that in. Ono Radio Show is our sister podcast. You should look that one up too. OnoMedia.com. No, I don't have that one anymore. I sold that actually. OnoWrestling.com.
Media.
I got that one. Ono.media. Haven't linked it yet. I need to do it. OnoRadioShow.com. Patreon.com/ONRS is the most important one. And of course, Twitch.tv/ONRS Live. But the most important thing of all, Matthew, is what we say when we get out of here for the folks in the sexy tracksuit gear. And it's a little bit woo!